Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It is a game day edition. The Browns will take on the Steelers, but does anybody care, right? I don't know. We'll get into that a little later. Talking about? We do care?
Yeah.
Will there be more Steelers fans or Browns fans at the game tonight?
Probably. I can't believe anybody's going to this game. Not because of the game, because of the weather, man.
The weather's going to be awful.
It's going to be absolutely brutal.
We got two beanies on today.
Can I tell you one thing?
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing worth. There's nothing
worth.
Mike Tyson. There's nothing worse, and you guys would agree as ex-players, than 37 in rain.
Woo! And
nothing worse.
Especially when that rain gets to going sideways.
Bro, and here's why. Because your uniform gets soaked, and it's cold. And
like 60 or more?
Yeah, dude, like give me snow all day.
There was a kid from Florida, right? We called him Gator. Gator was up here, bro. This dude, everything was cool when the summer hit. Yeah. Man, we got to playing around, man. We was like 3 and something. Man, this dude, we was outside. We had no indoor facility.
Let me tell you what he probably did. Tape on ear holes?
He taped his ear holes in middle period 13. We was doing inside tackle drill, inside run. He took his helmet off, got his pads off, and just was like, yo, y'all got to get me back to Florida. Man,
that was it.
Dropped his scholarship. Bounce was on the first thing smoking in Columbus because that's where the airport was. It just was like,
by the way, how did he not know? What he can't read?
You don't know until you get out there.
He
must have took a visit in the summertime.
Yeah, he was from Florida. He said, well, he asked me, hey, big dog, hey, what we doing when it was snowing outside? I said, practice. You'll be right out there in that grass field. Here was grass. He won no part.
He was done.
When you start getting hit and your fingers get caught up in helmets,
I'm telling you,
you get cleated.
You get let your toe get stepped on when it's cold.
My big toe ain't never recovered.
Do you guys watch guys play in the cold now, and my body gets bone chilling? I think about it; it gives me the willies.
You know what the sick thing is? I was one of those guys that once I got to my last year of college and then beyond. No matter how cold it was, I wasn't putting sleeves on. That's so stupid now. That's the dumbest thing ever. What am I trying to prove?
Did you think it made you tough?
Yeah, I did.
And back then,
I put that Vaseline on.
Well, yeah. Did you get that?
You got to reapply at halftime. You got to re-put some on.
Was there an upperclassman you played with that kind of instilled that in you, or is that your own thing?
No, dude, it's just a football mindset. It's like a tough guy thing.
But not everybody does it.
No, but
I did offensive.
I did it up until 2014 was the last season at Ohio State that I did it. That 2015 season and beyond, I did not wear sleeves.
So okay, this is like I've been on this time machine on Instagram where they be like, you're old if. Were you guys around when I'm thinking there was no Under Armour for a little bit? There was no such thing like in high school.
Yeah, Under Armour. Like, I got the very first piece of Under Armour.
Under Armour came alive.
I was a sophomore.
That's funny.
Sophomore in high school. This is I want to say 1998.
Yeah.
98.
Yeah,
dude?
98 game.
And bro, I had the cutoff. This joint was like $75 for a cutoff T-shirt.
The Under Armour.
I didn't take it off.
And Under Armour came out, boy. But before you had cloth, and that cloth used to get wet.
Long Johns.
I
was wearing the Gildan shirts, T-shirts.
Wow, and then throwback. Shout out to Newman's. Did they just get?
Man, Newman's were
tough. The Newman's they came in all kind of colors, but there was one hit wears.
Guy,
go ahead.
I'm going to cut you off because we got a lot to get to today.
Yes,
there is a game,
football,
and despite we are going to get to football in a little bit. We're going to spend most of the show talking about this game. Do the Browns have anything left to fight for? And we'll get to all of that. Justin Pugh, former NFL offensive lineman, is doing this thing with Amazon. Obviously, Thursday games are on Prime, and he's been traveling from city to city and been part of a tailgate trying to judge who's got the best tailgate now. And I'm going to say this to him. I don't think today, it's unfortunate that he's coming here later in the season as opposed to early.
It's a weeknight game.
But it's only Thursday nights that he does. But if the Browns were in contention, even with the weather, things would be on point.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we'll get to that. Bernie will be in studio later. We'll talk with Aditi later as well. But we got to start with the Cavaliers, who got back on track yesterday. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I just talked to Justin Pugh. He is getting in a taxi, and he's going to call us from the car in just a minute here. So
when
we'll
did we
start
get a
with the
mustache?
Cavs.
Did I miss the mustache?
Yeah, we was on him yesterday.
Yeah. So
the Cavs lost.
That looks like one of
It's
the
the worst,
things you get at the store, with the glasses and the nose.
Jay said the same thing yesterday.
I can't get over this.
He looks like
wow.
He's been described as having a porn stash from the 70s.
Yeah, he also could be like one of those guys, in the van.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
all these things we talked about yesterday. Not to mention the brother from Napoleon Dynamite that he looks like.
I will not be bullied, and
but his girlfriend likes it, so he decided to keep it. He had to do it for yesterday because of a bet. And then he was supposed to shave it, but apparently his girlfiend likes it, so he's keeping it.
Called him Kip off Napoleon Dynamite, man.
I got a lot
of
he
really banger.
Let me find out. Let me find out you role playing, McNuggets. She like that, huh?
That's a banger.
Hey, remember the dude with the mustache to tie the damsel and dress up on the train tracks?
Yeah.
Dustin, you were also in here for 15 minutes. We were talking 15 minutes out there.
Absolutely.
It just struck you. On TV, it's
no awareness at all by me.
Boy got a
It's
black
more
girlfriend named
But go ahead, Mike.
Well,
Let's get to the
shout out
Cavs
to
here.
Miss Nuggets for liking the stash. It's going to stick around for at least a little bit. And November
Shout out to
is a
FanDuel.
month all about gratitude, and along with Miss Nugget, there's another person we don't get to thank enough. That's ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we're trying to make the best out of everything in every situation in this crazy world, and that's just not easy. So here's a reminder to send thanks to some people in your life, including yourself. If you've been thinking about trying therapy, there's no better time to give BetterHelp a try than right now. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. The Pelicans could have used some help last night. They were shorthanded as can be, missing 8 of their top 9 scorers in last night's contest against the Cavs, which they completely dominated. Easy fashion. Ty Jerome with the career high. Jalen Tyson in his first career start put up a 16, 11, and 7 stat line.
Mike, can you steal more of our thunder here?
Well, I'm going to ask.
Jeez.
That's the story right there. It is the dominating
What do we have left to talk about? You just told us the whole story of the game.
I just gave you the stats. Now you give me the analysis.
I mean,
what analysis? They played great.
The Pelicans, listen, it's good that the Cavs bounced back. It was a close game in the first quarter.
The Pelicans,
but the Pelicans were not an NBA team.
They were giving you that game.
Yeah. Had you heard of any of the players that played for them?
No, in fact, I looked at the players and they just all looked like they didn't belong.
Right. They have no real. I mean,
they didn't look like. I mean,
Brandon
obviously they're NBA players. I'm not.
I never heard of Brandon Boston before yesterday. Now I'm not the most diehard NBA.
He's nice.
Is that the guy there?
No, he's to do with the Braves.
I know who he is, but I've heard of James Robinson Earl, I think. Didn't he used to play for Oklahoma City?
Villanova. And then Oklahoma City.
Okay,
yes.
so I did know who he was.
Why did New Orleans decide to just roll this lineup out there? Are they starters banged up, or are they coming off a back-to-back? What was
they were back-to-back and starters. A lot of those guys are hurt.
And genuinely hurt. That wasn't like a
and they're not good.
rest.
And they're not good.
They're terrible. They played that game with one player that was averaging more than 6.9 points per game, and that was Brandon. What's his name?
Boston
Jr. Who averaged like.
I did like to see the Jalen Tyson thing, though, because
that was good. That was fun.
The thing about him is I always said that he was the one that would probably come in and replace, an Okoro or Karis LeVert, from the simple fact that what he does is he can score. He looked like he sped his jumper up a little bit more, but what I like about him is that he goes down there and he rebounds and things like that. And, if we're going to have these small guards and we're only going to be able to run Evan Mobley and stuff like that, you need a guy that can at least go in there and still grab some buckets. Like, for example, Jason Tatum is not the biggest guy in the world, but this guy gets 11 rebounds and stuff like that. So if you can have another guard or small forward type of guy that can come in and crash the boards as well, it'll help you in that aspect. So I like to see. I know he did it in college. I wanted to see if he could do it in the NBA. Don't get me wrong, you got to take it with a grain of salt because of who it's against.
A lot of grains of salt.
Yes, but the fact that he was still able to do it was still impressive to me.
Man, I was in the building last night. Shout out to my wife. She got me tickets for the game.
Picture. It was cute.
I was about to say,
you guys like courtside? It was nice seats.
Man, it was a little nice seats, man. She got that accounting money. I didn't even ask where it came from. So it was like, yo, them nice seats. I can see why this money in the bank account a little low. Never mind, though. We was in the building, and let me tell you this. The takeaway is Ty Jerome is elite in Cleveland. Let me tell you this. When he's playing at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, he's different. Like, this dude is not, this ain't fluky, bro. I was sitting there looking around, and when he got the ball, it was electric. It was electric, bull.
It was crazy.
What did he make, 9 threes or 7?
That dude.
7 threes.
Bro.
That stretch at the end of the first half where he kept shooting further and further out.
People was going crazy. People was hugging.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude's different. And you know what the crazy thing is? He's just pulling up on people with this level of confidence right now. Yeah. And it's not only that, he taking the ball from people, he coming off screens, he just step back game. When you get step back game, and by the way, when people start doing you like this on the sidelines.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When they start.
They're like holding each other back.
When they start giving you that, it's over. I was like, listen, it's and1 mixtape, Tyvus. I was expecting them to grab the ball and just throw it in the stands.
Damn.
Baby.
Just get on the court with the microphone.
Bro, it was that lit.
That was
it was
crazy.
that crazy to me. And I was like, hey, listen, I know Darius was out to get today. He's like, listen, this dude, I sit out one game. And Ty Jerome's like, oh, no, I'm pulling.
You're going to get Wally.
No, I'm pulling.
Hey, G, you want to hear the best part about Ty Jerome? We're going to do a little reenactment. Bull, you're going to be Ethan from Cleveland.com last night post-game. I'm going to be Ty Jerome.
Okay.
Ask me how it felt to catch supernova in the second quarter. And I'm going to give you the exact quote that Ty Jerome
Somebody
gave.
asked him that question?
They were like, Ty, you caught
Ty,
in the second
you
quarter.
were phenomenal. The crowd was going bananas. You kept stepping further and further back. How did it feel last night?
It felt really good.
That was it?
That was it. Deadpan.
Yeah.
Next question.
Nothing.
He is the most silent assassin, straight-faced killer I've seen in recent
Yeah, media
memory.
members make the huge mistake of the how do you feel question. Those are
How does it feel?
Those are bad questions.
It feels like crap.
We got to be better as a media to stop asking those questions.
Well, what's a good question now?
In that case,
yeah.
Wow, you put me under the
well,
pressure.
I mean, if you're going to be critical.
A good question in that situation, and I just repeated that because I'm thinking about it.
Smart.
That's the way to kill time a little bit. And that's
a great question.
That's what I'm continuing to do.
That's a great question.
Is to say something like, Ty, you guys had to bounce. You guys played terribly yesterday. You wanted to get this win. Darius was out there. Did you look at this as an opportunity for you to establish yourself even more as a guy who can play starters minutes?
You know what he would have said?
Great question. A little long, but a great question.
He would have been like, yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, he gives He's awesome. I really like talking to Ty because he'll give you his honest thoughts in the moment, but he doesn't expand on it. He just gives you exactly what it is.
All right.
Earl,
got to get closer to him. You got to become more friendly.
I'm going to say this, man.
Earl been wrong about 99 things on this show.
It is amazing.
But he got one thing correct so far.
This pool.
Shout out, Earl.
This blind seven and blackjack that you went. The fact that he picked Ty Jerome's name out of a hat for a 50-50 raffle at a Baptist church on Tuesday night is the most crazy pool prediction I've ever seen in my life.
It is true, and Tyvis is right. No offense to Earl, but Earl's got the worst winning percentage. Of like predictions.
0-2-6.
But this is like a 100 out of 100.
I mean,
on Ty Jerome. It's a makeup for all the mistakes.
Well, he's the GOAT. He was on track with the Martin Emerson thing, and it just.
But he's the GOAT right now.
He said he wouldn't trade for Aaron Donald.
He offered. He said I wouldn't give up anything more than DPJ and a fourth
for Aaron Donald.
Wait, one more thing on Ty Jerome. So George Niang said this post game last night.
Yeah.
He said over the summer Ty was on fire.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's the summer. No one's really playing defense, whatever.
Yeah.
We go to training camp in September. Ty Jerome's the best player in training camp.
Yeah.
It's training camp. Who cares?
Yeah.
17 games in the season. Ty Jerome has been arguably minute for minute the best player in the NBA this season. You know he's only playing a certain amount of minutes.
Right.
Guy. But at some point, and George said this last night, he goes, when are y'all going to change your expectations of who this dude really is?
My expectations have changed already.
And I think it's a valid point that this is not just a 2-week 17-game stretch.
Yeah.
If you listen, and Kenny Atkinson said it, Donovan said it, Kobe Altman said it. It's like a 4-month period where Ty Jerome is on fire.
Yeah.
I know he probably can't shoot 60 and 55 for the season.
Maybe he can,
but
almost.
His career numbers are 43 and 34.
Yeah.
I think that's more of the outlier than what we're seeing
Mikey,
now.
let me ask you, in a 1-month season, 1 month, I'm going to give you 2 candidates. I just want to check your temperature to see where this Ty Jerome is at. Would you take Ty Jerome for 1 month, or would you take Jeremy Lin?
We mentioned Jeremy
1
Lin
month,
the other day.
just a 1-month season.
Well, let me pull up Jeremy Lin's stats during Linsanity.
Yeah, I tried to pull that up.
Jeremy Lin was on some other stuff.
Yeah, he was on some trash. He was like really like
Linsanity.
Linsanity, yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, but
that was like a 35-game run or 30-game run or something.
And
Ty Jerome is not getting the
And by the way,
hype.
that dude parlayed that into like $100 million.
Oh
sure.
yeah. Oh
Who?
Jeremy
yeah.
Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
Wait, what they parlay?
No.
That run, that stretch set him up to have this. Like he had a quiet, really good NBA career where he was a backup point guard, but at one point he was a starter for a few years.
Yeah.
Was it the Knicks, right?
That's why it got so hyped, because it was the Knicks.
No, because didn't Kobe say, I don't know who that is?
Yeah,
or something like that?
It's the Knicks being in New York.
It's Jeremy Lin, by the way.
Give me some of these
I just want
numbers.
to check your temperature.
Starting from
Give me them numbers.
2/4/12, so February 4th of 2012 or 2012.
2012.
He went. This is his back-to-back games: 25 points, 28 points, 23 points, 38 points, 20, 27, 26, 28, 21, 17, 19, 14, 20, 20, 14.
Yeah, but he was playing a lot more, I'm sure, than Ty Jerome.
Yeah, he was playing 37 minutes.
And he was hitting game winners.
Game winners.
If they would have played Ty Jerome like full starter minutes yesterday, if it wasn't a blowout, he probably would have scored 40, 45 points last night.
I think so.
The way he was playing.
So during that stretch, it was a 18-game stretch, by the way, Linsanity in the month of February. He scored 21 points per game. He did average 5 turnovers, but he had 21, 9 assists, 2.5 steals, 4 rebounds.
Oh!
Shot 56% from the
I didn't realize he was that good. Yeah.
I didn't even know he was dishing the rock like that.
Yeah, well, that was the D'Antoni offensive system, which, by the way, Atkinson kind of is a disciple of, where they just ran high pick and roll every time, and he was awesome. But Ty Jerome, not to take anything away from Ty.
No, and again, as Tyvis said, and he's right, you take everything with a grain of salt against who you played yesterday, but it was still good to see. And as far as what's his name, Tyson?
Jalen Tyson.
Do you think he earned some more minutes?
50
Oh, yes.
Jalen Tyson.
I thought you said 50 Tyson.
For a minute, I wanted to call him Jalen Dyson. Is there a Jalen Dyson in another sport?
There's a Dyson Daniels.
I might say Dyson Daniels.
But anyway, you're right, guy. Again, it's hard because of the competition, but he looked like a real player out there. I'd like to see him play a couple of minutes with all these other guys out. If they're still out, what's the next game? Sunday? If some of those guys are out, like give him some minutes. Let's see what he looks like a man for a guy who's pretty young. I mean, He don't look like a
said,
kid.
He played well enough to get another shot
against a real team. Yeah. I'd like to see that.
I remember like TJ Houshmandzadeh a little bit.
TJ,
can you put his back up?
TJ, who's your mama?
Not in this picture as much, but it's like on the court. I feel like he looks like him. I don't know.
Let's see, TJ.
Man, listen. This is, I've been creating this.
TJ, who's your mama?
This is.
I don't like that picture.
That's not a great picture.
No.
That's a crazy.
Can we get the profile picture? Like
it's like when he's got the hair back.
I could see it.
Hey, listen.
See it.
Here's how we gonna do this, man.
Man, maybe not. I don't know.
You see it a little bit.
I'm excited about it because this is the El DeBarge stopper. This the El DeBarge stopper. I'm all for it. Listen, we got him right. This is good hair on good hair. This is baby bangs. I got him right on Jason Tatum. And when he's guarding Tatum,
what is he, Samoan?
I don't know. I don't know what he is, but when he get on Jason Tatum, he can be like, "Your baby hairs, my hair is better than you, and your."
He's got some good hair.
How good is he defending? I know in the summer league, the one thing that they stress with him is him being ball dominant, being able to distribute.
Is he a defender, Mike?
And it was nice to see.
He's strong. I'm not sure if he's super quick laterally yet. I'm not taking anything out of last night's game that I think is definitive, but he's strong as an ox.
We got to see him play some minutes against a legitimate opponent to get a better feel for him. I think.
I'm ready to elevate him. I'm ready to elevate him to the DeBarge stopper. You know, it's always one or two of them.
Has he passed Amani Bates for you?
Thabo Cephalosha. Amani Bates is in a different.
Cephalosha.
So yeah, listen. What do you mean Amani Bates is he passed?
Like
who?
Dice Tyson.
Nick, you better get out of here.
Come on, bro.
He's not ahead of Amani Bates.
Do you know what Amani Bates is going to come back and do with this coach?
Are these guys serious over here?
45 points.
I mean, G is serious, but he's wrong.
All right.
No, I'm with G on this.
People still on the Amani Bates.
Amani Bates,
man, listen.
He's never
if Amani Bates was in this offense, the man would go for 30 a night.
He wouldn't pass the ball. He can't play.
He wouldn't be the assist.
Like
they would be giving.
He gonna be in the corner
because he ain't
wide open.
It's gone.
Everybody hit for the Cavs under this system. Bull, you hit
that ball
threes.
touch his hands. It's gone.
I couldn't hit a three to save my life. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, let's pivot over. We got a Browns game tonight, and you can tackle all of the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Guys, weather tonight's supposed to be iffy at best. So let's look at the quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah.
Jameis versus Wilson in the elements for tonight. Who you taking?
Dustin, start us off here.
That dome
Who am I taking
tonight?
tonight? I'm taking Russell Wilson tonight.
Is that the question? Like tonight on their teams, who you like better?
Yeah, who do you like better tonight?
Okay, good. Yeah.
I mean, it would be tonight. It'd be a whole season. I mean, I'd take Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
and not just because what he's done in the past, which is he's been a winner and stuff. Like I get that, but he's just more mobile than Jameis right now, and he's playing at a high level. I think I've watched several Steelers games, this year that I've been impressed with. It's actually kind of refreshing to see him kind of bounce back because it was kind of tough to watch in Denver. Like it was really you're like watching a guy his skills diminish, and it looked like he was shot. You know what I mean? But he goes to Pittsburgh, and somehow they just turn him into gold again.
That's their.
But I would take Russell Wilson. Yeah, it's not, to me it's not even close.
Tyvis, he's the only player in the history of sports that you've ever had a bad word to say about, Russell Wilson.
Oh, you didn't like Russell?
I never said that.
Oh, okay. Well, he just put words in your mouth.
I said that.
You've been very critical of him.
What I said was I love Russell Wilson as a human being. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback.
What's wrong
Well,
with
but who said he's the greatest quarterback?
That's all I said.
I don't think he's the greatest quarterback either. He's a really good player. I mean, at one point he was a top 5 player.
He would disagree with you.
I would disagree
never?
with you. I would disagree with you.
Okay, that's fine.
The problem is he never did it for an entire season. Like, what year do you consider him?
Well, I don't know. I'm not Pro Football Reference here.
Yeah,
fair.
I mean, I remember watching him for a decade in Seattle and thought, this guy's pretty good.
I don't know. I think those defensive
So, Ty,
players
who you taking tonight?
were jealous of Russell Wilson over there.
Tonight, who am I taking? With the elements. I feel like you gotta lean more towards Wilson tonight with the elements, because I don't know if the wind is blowing and it's just raining and all of those things.
You know, on the websites to bet, it's minus 220 for Jameis to throw an interception.
I did see that. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. We appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Anyways, I just think that with tonight's elements, with Pittsburgh's game plan in general, like it's just tailor-made for him to succeed. That's why he's doing such a good job there. They're going to run the ball. He's going to throw some short passes. He'll take a shot every once in a while, and he got some receivers that'll jump over guys and make some plays. He does do that. When you think about Jameis, first of all, I still believe that this was a run-first team. Don't get me wrong. They've looked a lot better in the pass and attack, and Jameis is coming off of an amazing game. But with that wind blowing, how many times you going to ask this man to throw tonight? I don't know. Like, is the deep ball going to be there tonight, or is the wind going to take the ball out the air? Like, that's the thing that I'm worried about. And I think that when you look at just the wide receivers, maybe it does tailor to the wide receivers a little bit more because they're not burners. They're more route runners. So maybe that will help in this scenario. But it's about this offensive line. I don't know if they'll be able to give Jameis the time that he needs to be able to get that ball out. So if I had to choose tonight, I would go with Russell Wilson.
As of right now, according to the WKYC weather app, game starts, 8:20, is it?
8:15.
Raining, man.
So at 8 o'clock, there's a 95% chance of snow, 36 degrees, winds 10 miles an hour. Between 8 and midnight, winds between 10 and 16 miles an hour. Good chance of snow, even though it says it's not going to be below freezing. So I don't know. There you go, G. What do you got?
Man,
factor that in.
It's gonna be spitting.
This is light bars, man. I'm gonna take. I can't believe she's rich now.
I can.
Yeah, it's
Good
crazy.
for her.
Good for her.
Crazy.
I say good for her
rich.
too.
She's so rich. I'm gonna go with Jameis. You know why? You know why, Bull?
Because Sean King said he's the top 15 quarterback.
No. Well, listen, he's battling for his next contract, though.
Yep.
If Jameis Winston comes out here and plays well, I actually got the Browns winning this game, to be honest with you. I don't know why.
I do too.
I don't know why. It's just in my soul. I don't know why. I was definitely not going to root for him tonight, and they was like, no, I got the Browns winning this game. But if Jameis Winston comes out here and plays well again, that means...
How do you lose by 21 points when you have those numbers?
Crazy.
I mean, that's such a joke, dude.
We was losing it when we was talking about it, Dustin. We was going crazy.
I can't believe it.
If
You know what?
If you put those up...
Because our defense can't cover anybody.
I'm flipping my answer. I'm going with Jameis tonight too.
I'm going with
Flip
Jameis.
flopper, huh?
I'm gonna go back.
Ain't
I'm gonna
no
go with
wrong with
Jameis
that.
tonight.
Because he playing for his next contract, boy.
Not because of that
So is
reason.
Russell Wilson.
Not because of that reason.
No. But here's the thing. I feel like the Browns don't readily have available an answer at quarterback, like that they could just say, okay, we'll tank and get so-and-so. No, Kevin Stefanski is not going to be tanking because Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry can't afford to do that. So I do believe that they're going to try to win these football games. I don't think that they're going to be in the top 5 to draft a quarterback. They won't get him. There is no quarterbacks on the open market that you would see as a crazy upgrade from Jameis Winston. So if you Jameis Winston, you come out here and you put up some more decent numbers and you play well, that's 3 out of 4 games that he's played that played well in those games. And you look at the Chargers, who have a really good defense, he could come back and say, hey, guys, you said before, you guys were disappointed in the quarterback play, 134, 156. I'm putting up 300 yards a game. Why ain't nobody talking about me?
So,
Hey, by the way, do you know
Yeah.
that the Pittsburgh Steelers have never beaten an AFC North opponent on Thursday Night Football?
I did see
0-7.
That's crazy.
which is weird.
I
Is that
thought- I
only
thought
on the
this-
road or period?
No, that's period. Thursday
That's
night,
strange.
they're 0-7 against AFC North opponents, which is sort of
There you go.
surprising, but also maybe a good stat for us to,
Very
to
strange.
look
And
at.
the Browns have been very good on Thursday Night Football.
Now, here's the thing. I thought about, when you first asked this question, I was thinking about how if I wanted a quarterback for either of these teams the rest of the year, who would I rather have? And I thought for the Browns, to me, it's a toss-up who I'd rather have if it was the Browns, because I don't know. I think they're both on the same level, like kind of just below average, mid-tier quarterbacks. But if I'm the Steelers, it's a no-brainer you'd take Russell Wilson over Jameis, because Jameis is just, in general, going to turn the ball over more than Russell Wilson has. And the way the Steelers play, they want their quarterbacks, unless it's Ben Roethlisberger, they want their quarterbacks to play conservatively and just not make the big
I'm telling you,
mistakes.
Russell will give you 3 to 4 first downs with his legs every game. and Jameis can't move.
We hated Russell Wilson last year. We crapped
no one
on
said
him.
We have to love him. But
we said that we said that Russell Wilson before the Deshaun Watson deal.
Yeah.
We said that Russell Wilson's trade was the worst trade in the history of the game.
No,
I never said that.
No, we didn't. We said Trey Lance.
I never said that either.
He was up there.
Walker trade.
He was up there.
What was Herschel's trade?
And talk about worst contracts. He was up there.
Contracts. That's different.
He was up there.
Yeah, sure.
So now he comes to Pittsburgh. They run the ball a little bit. I mean, I think they could be doing what they were doing right now with Justin Fields.
Well, they feel like their offense has been better. I mean, they didn't play particularly great offensively against the Ravens last week, so he had played well the 2 games before that. I don't love either quarterback. I think they're both fine bridge quarterbacks at this point in their careers, both of them. But I don't want to really move forward with either of them as a long-term thing.
You know what I do like about Jameis over Russell?
Yeah. What?
For whatever reason, I do think that Jameis is a better red zone quarterback. Like, I feel like with Russell, they'll settle for a lot of field goals. Jameis will find a way to punch it in the end zone.
They didn't last week. He threw 400 yards. They
didn't
get
in the red zone.
Well,
they did.
They had to be in the red zone. He threw 400 yards.
Yeah, they
missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Did we cut our kicker yet or not yet?
No, we just paid him.
No, they doubled down. They doubled down on him. How about that?
I mean, I don't understand how you give a guy who's been a career mediocre kicker, has one good year, and then you give him an extension. It makes no sense. But
I thought
Corey Bojorquez.
Well, Bojorquez has been a good punter his whole career.
That's the best weapon we got.
Yeah.
By far.
I don't know.
How about all those kickers, the ex-Browns kickers that are all having success right now?
Zane Gonzalez.
Yeah, like Seibert.
Austin Seibert.
Never thought he's
not the guy they drafted, though. The most recent guy. What's his name?
K. York.
He's not playing, is he?
He's not, I don't think.
Is he even on a roster or practice squad?
Yeah, the Commanders picked him up and then cut him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What round did the Browns draft him in?
4th.
Oh, my God.
Fireable offenses.
4th round for a kicker who can't even make it in the league.
That is wild, man. Can you imagine?
As a kicker, you don't want to be drafted by Cleveland.
No.
Not only are they not a great organization that does not have a lot of patience.
It's hard to kick.
It's hard to kick here, yeah.
You got in 5 years, you don't have to worry about those things.
We'll be indoors.
Oh, yeah. Or was Mike Nugent drafted in the 2nd round?
He was.
Go Bucks.
That's insane.
Yeah, but it panned out
Sebastian Janikowski was drafted
That's
in
even
the first,
dumber.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a beast, though. He was the first person I see kicking the thing from 60.
Nugent had like a 16-year NFL career.
He's a good kicker, but he's not a Hall of Fame kicker. He's not that level.
There aren't Hall of Fame kickers.
There's a couple. Like Justin Tucker's going to get in the Hall of Fame. He wasn't as good as Justin Tucker.
But he's the one for the last 20 years.
You talking about former Buckeye?
Nugent was very good, a very good kicker, but not worth a 2nd round pick. No kicker's worth a 2nd round pick.
But here's the thing, though. It's like I would say typically no. But if this guy's going to be your leading point scorer on your team, and you could draft you could draft a linebacker in the 2nd round.
For years, you were Mr. Never Draft a Kicker.
I am Mr. Draft a Kicker. I'm saying if you do draft a kicker, he's got to turn out like that.
Yeah.
Janikowski was a great kicker, too.
I would never draft a kicker.
I
would never ever draft a kicker.
First round. I'm done with the Raiders.
It'll never happen again.
Well, I mean, somewhat recently.
Ever happen again.
Didn't the Buccaneers draft a kicker in like the 3rd round?
It was
2nd round.
He was 2nd round.
Second.
And he sucked.
More impressively, shout out to the Ohio Bobcats. My man Dave Zastudil as a punter got drafted.
Oh, yeah.
I
like
believe
7th round,
6th or 7th round.
As a punter?
Sheesh.
He's still around the area.
Did the punt guy get drafted?
Punt guy?
Go ahead, Mike.
Punt guy did not get drafted.
Did he?
I thought he was 7th
I thought he went
round.
undrafted and signed as an undrafted free agent.
I don't know.
Hey, did you see the video of him, by the way, after he punted last week against Buffalo? Sprints his ass down there. Like he's one of the coverage guys.
Yeah.
He tries to make tackles.
They cut him.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's like
they cut him. That's why.
I know that, but it was pretty cool to see him busting his ass down the field.
It was like Pat McAfee. I mean, that guy used to be an animal out on the field.
Let's get a quick read in here, guys. We've all struggled and been frustrated with rent payments because you feel like you're stuck in this loop, never ending, watching your money vanish into thin air. Well, it's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or hotel stay with over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties. You can also use your points points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards a future rent payment. They are designed to meet your lifestyle. You can pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Point Guys and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent today when you go to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL. That is joinbilt.com/LockedOnNFL. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL to start earning points today with your rent payments. Nick Chubb facing the Steelers for the first time since his season-ending injury last year. Obviously, he'll be motivated like he is in every game, but do you expect this to be the game that we see Nick Chubb finally look like the Nick Chubb before the injury?
I wish I could say yes, guys, but I can't, because I think he looked more like himself for the first time last week, and I think he'll continue to progress. And I'm still very hopeful that by the end of the year, or certainly by next year, that he could be a stud again. I believe that with Nick Chubb. But the reason I'm not buying it tonight, not that he might not necessarily be pretty good, the Steelers' defensive line is awesome. The Browns' offensive line stinks right now. Well, stinks might be strong. It's not great. And who's starting at left tackle? Is it Ofedi?
Fetty.
Hey!
I mean,
hey!
come on now.
Okay, Fetty. I see you, baby. Yeah.
Fetty what?
I'm my boy. Yeah.
So, no, I don't have a ton of faith that Nick Chubb's going to have a big game tonight.
Where does the Pittsburgh Steelers rank in rush defense?
Do you know, Mike?
Steve, if you take 11 and pull up 11, I can show you guys.
Go tag board full, or go tag board half?
No, this is
half
Steve,
full.
Director Steve. Take
With
graphic full,
your
please. They
TV
rank.
words.
I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass.
They have the 4th best rush defense
it.
in football.
Okay.
Sheesh. Well,
Yeah.
there's your answer. There's your answer. Now, if the weather is bad and snowy, rainy,
Yeah.
and all those things, he'll get more opportunities. But with given the fact that everybody's in here has dealt with some type of injury, when that weather gets cold, those injuries start to flare up even more. So I think they'll be a little bit more cautious with him tonight. I don't know if he actually gets a ton of carries like that. I think they rotate a lot of people.
But didn't Stefanski specifically say that they didn't use him a lot in New Orleans to use him more this game?
So they wanted to keep him fresh for this game.
Which is a weird thing to say. He usually gives you nothing.
It's a short week, though. I mean, when you got a guy who's a little banged up, you probably wouldn't want to run him ragged against the Saints and then try to come back short week against Pittsburgh.
Fair.
I don't know. I think he's probably just putting more of an emphasis on a divisional game at home.
Makes sense.
I don't know.
Man,
So do you think he's going to have a big game or no?
What's a big game?
Yeah, what is a big game?
Mike said vintage Nick Chubb game. To me, that's over 100 yards.
No.
I would say.
How many carries? 30 carries? 100
He
yards?
get 30 carries.
No, I mean, he'd have to get 25 carries to get 100 yards.
Man.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get that many.
No, I don't think you can do that right now. I don't even know that it's smart to give him that many carries.
Probably not.
Not in these conditions, for sure.
It's not possible, man. Look. So let me just say this. Every unit is married to another unit, right? If you talk about stopping a run, your linebackers and your defensive lines are married in the run fits. If you want to get a pass rush or you want to defend the pass, the defensive line has to get a pass rush. The defensive backs have to be sticky on their guys. If you want to run the football, it does not start with the running back. It starts with the offensive line. And those two are married.
Preacher.
If you can't have solid run concepts and creative ways to block guys. Joe Thomas came on here and just said it last week, or this week, actually, a couple of days ago. Yeah. He's like, what they're running up front makes no sense. They're not effective up front. So Nick Chubb is not going to be able to make guys miss and then break away. And it's the same high school. Your running game needs to be a concise running game between a marriage between the play caller and how you call the plays, the design of the plays, the offensive line rooting people off the ball, and then Nick Chubb being a special back. None of that is happening.
Right, and I would say that at his best, at the peak of his powers, Nick Chubb, more than any other back, except for maybe Derrick Henry, could overcome bad offensive line play more than anybody else.
Yes.
But just since he's still coming back from injury, he's not that level of player right now. Not yet. So he's not going to be able to overcome poor O-line play. And as you've pointed out a couple of times, G, their blocking scheme seemed to be quite confusing, at least to be nice about it. I don't know what's going on.
People coming free, like you just, that was crazy. I got on Jay about that. People are in the backfield at will. We'll rephrase that. So, yeah. Man, I'm just going to pass this off, man. I'm ashamed. Go ahead, McNuggets.
No, you guys are good.
No, we're still good.
Bad job out of me.
Yeah. All right, so how many yards you got for Nick Chubb? Yardage, go.
55.
62.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere between 45 and 60 yards. I think that's probably the number. What's his total for the game time?
What is his total?
Bet? I could
His receiving yard total is 3.5 yards.
Well,
do we like Nick Chubb over 3.5 yards receiving?
I'll take that.
3.5?
I'll take that.
How many receptions does Nick Chubb have this year? Not many.
He gonna get a screen
He doesn't
today.
get many.
Our screen game used to be
51.5 is the rushing yards.
I know it.
Our screen
Yeah,
game
I mean, he
used
should
to-
be right around that number.
Our screen game
60
used
plus
to
is
be
plus 125.
elite,
I know
bull.
it.
Plus money.
What's that?
The
It used to be
screen
elite,
game
yeah.
used to be elite, and it's just non-existent.
All right, Mikey, go ahead.
We got a guest, a first-time guest on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We are happy to bring in here in 1 second. After a quick word from FanDuel, get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And with that, we're thrilled to welcome in Justin Pugh.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, that every offensive lineman that retires either goes the Joe Thomas route and loses a ton of weight, or goes the Damian Woody route and gains a ton of weight. Justin Pugh has gone, good for him, has gone the Joe Thomas route. And so congratulations, because you don't look like an offensive lineman anymore, Justin.
Yeah, I was playing last year. Those white jerseys weren't good to me. It was like when we were out there, I remember playing against Brandon Graham and the Philadelphia Eagles. He was like, Pugh, where'd all your weight go? And I said, Brandon, all the weight that I lost, you gained. So you got to give the defensive line.
Now, I kind of feel bad, Justin. Like, I feel bad for our city here because I don't think tonight's tailgate, and I know, and Justin does, and I watched his video for when he went to Philadelphia. I watched it this morning, and it was really cool. Check it out. So, but he does this thing for Prime every week where he goes to the city and is involved with the tailgating, which is really cool and probably a great experience, which we'd love to hear about. But I don't feel like our city's going to be well represented tonight between the weather and just the fact the team's so bad. People are, not normally it would be bananas. If the Browns were in contention, it would be insane even with this terrible weather. But don't hold it against us if it's not as great as it normally is there.
Hey, look, the diehards that are going to be in the Muni lot tonight, I'm excited to meet those fans. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a good football game regardless. Just touched down in Cleveland. I'm excited to get to the game. Hey, look, at the end of the day, it's Thursday night. It's not always going to be the craziest tailgating environment, but we're figuring it out. I'm enjoying meeting the fans. After 11 years of playing, it's time for me to sit amongst the fans and see what it's like on the other side.
So, Justin, you've been doing this since the beginning of the season. You got any cool stories? What's been the best fan base, or have you had any cool experiences?
Kansas City, he said, is the leader right now, right?
Kansas City? Why?
Kansas City. So it was ring ceremony night. They're playing the Ravens. So you get Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes. We go to Joe's Barbecue. They treat us like family. We had great food. The game comes down to the big toe. The fans are insane. The tailgates were absolutely, nuts. And that was my first game, so it's probably a little bit of like that first-timer effect where you're really in awe of like what you're experiencing. But then I will say some that have surprised me that you guys probably won't like to hear: the Baltimore Ravens, the Atlanta Falcons. It's not a division rival, so maybe that's when I can shout out. And the Philadelphia Eagles get after it. So and all those were very good games. So hopefully tonight is a good game. And maybe it's a little Myles Garrett magic. I think the Browns win tonight. Just not even being a homer here. I truly think they win this game. I predicted them to beat the Baltimore Ravens on ESPN Radio a few weeks ago as well. I've been a Browns fan going into this season. I love the way they spend. Obviously, the quarterback situation got a little crazy, but I think they have one of the most talented rosters in football.
Justin, let me ask you a question. So being a former offensive line, I know you played guard, but like tonight, we've got a new tackle playing left tackle. He's probably not going to see Watt that much because he plays mostly against the right tackle. But like between Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt, who do you think? Who would you rather avoid? How about that?
I think Myles Garrett's the best non-quarterback in the NFL. His rookie year, we played them. I was with the Cardinals at the time. We played them. And I remember my left tackle, he's blocking Myles Garrett. He's a rookie. And I'm like, all right, time for me to welcome Myles Garrett to the NFL. I go and hit him. And it was like hitting a cinder block wall. And I've never, like, you don't know what someone's made of until you put your hands on them and, like, you have to block them for the first time. There are very few NFL D linemen that I've ever put my hands on and been like, oh, this dude is built different. And Myles Garrett's built different. I think if the team has been better throughout his career, they'd be playing with some leads, his statistics would be even more off the charts. Not saying that hating on T.J. Watt at all. He's right there. It's probably 1 and 2. I just think when you go against a player and you find out what they're made of, Myles Garrett is not a human being.
You know, Justin, I think I always talk about people not really quite understanding like big guy language and big guys up front as far as offensive line. People don't get this. Like if you poll people or guys on the team that know, offensive linemen are the smartest people. Offensive linemen are the most witty. Offensive linemen are the most connected group.
And also the most disgusting, too.
And also, they got some...
You're not wrong.
Offensive lineman gloves is devastatingly ranked. Them they put their hands... I used to play D-line, they put their hands on your back.
Smells like a hockey locker
room,
my
dude. Goodness. But I will say this, too. Offensive linemen are really cool because even though you guys are all incredibly rich, you guys have a code of conduct that degrades people that show that.
They drive F-150s.
You get a pickup truck, don't you have no jewelry on, and you're going to grow a beard during the season. Tell us a little bit about offensive line play and why you guys are so interesting as people.
It's like, I compare us to defensive backs, honestly. It's one of the hardest jobs on the football field. We're going backwards by some of the best athletes in the world, like yourself. We're going forward. And we don't wear shirts when we go swimming, all right? I want to make that known. We don't wear shirts in the swimming pool when we're on vacation. We don't all drive F-150s. Most of us drive F-150s. But every Thursday, we would do mandatory O-line dinners where we would get together and the O-line has a dinner. You break bread. You talk about anything but football. You find out where guys are from, what make them tick. You got to really love playing next to one another. Offensive line is all about camaraderie, and that's what I love the most about it. It's a position that you don't want to play growing up. You get stuck there because you're big and you want to score touchdowns. And they say, no, son, you're going to go play offensive line. And then eventually you realize that it is one of the best positions to play for in terms of, I don't want to say enjoyment because offensive line still isn't the most fun. But being around the guys and being in that environment is one of the best that I wouldn't trade for the world. Like I still have my offensive line chats going with all the guys I played with.
Justin, I want to ask about a little field swag. Now, a lot of offensive linemen decide not to wear sleeves, but you wore the quarter sleeves.
Ah, yeah.
Did they yell at you for this? And what made you? And if you played today, would you wear the sleeves or would you be one of those guys that be one of those tougher guys?
I used to wear the quarter sleeves for a while because those pads cut up under your armpits real bad. I want quarter sleeves strictly because, when D linemen are always pushing and pulling, that they're pulling those sleeves and they're cutting up your armpits. Man, I remember I used to sting to put deodorant on. So mine was purely functional, and I got so much crap for that because offensive linemen, you can't wear sleeves. You got to be tough. Yeah. Man, I'm about functionality. I got to go out there and block Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald. I need to feel good.
The quarter sleeves is the Drew Stantons, bro.
Oh, yeah.
don't have the Drew Stantons on, dog.
That's a throwback right there.
Oh, that's tough.
Hey, Justin, I got to ask you about two of your former teammates. Number one, Odell Beckham Jr. When the Browns traded for Odell, we were going nuts for months. Get Odell, and it didn't work out here. The guy, his first couple of years in the league was as good as any receiver we've ever seen, but then he couldn't stay healthy, and the rare times he was in recent years, he's minimally effective. Are you shocked at his career arc after those first few years?
I really am. I mean, I was there with him in New York, and he was single-handedly winning us games. I think he became this superstar that, I mean, look, at one point he was bigger in this league than even Tom Brady. Like, after he made that catch, it was crazy. Anywhere he would go on planet Earth, he was in Germany and people were following him around.
Yeah,
I really think that is tough to overcome all of that. Like, what was going on outside in his world, I don't even have any idea. What I know is he was a great teammate. He took care of everybody. He was always on time. He always did the things he needed to do on the field. And if he was getting something, we all were getting something. I remember one time a mattress company gave him like free mattresses, and he got a 18-wheeler pulled up. Every player, every coach got mattress, got pillows. So not only was he doing it right on the field, he was doing it right off the field. And then obviously, things happen in life. Like once you have the fame and the money, it's harder to play a sport like this. Just look at. I mean, there's no better example. Look at what Mike Tyson just went through. He's fighting Jake Paul for money because once you get outside of I'm not comparing Odell to Mike Tyson, that when you get fame to another level, it definitely impacts everybody differently. Mike Tyson's the extreme case.
Oh, yeah. I got to ask you about one more former teammate because he played here in Cleveland. We've at least three of the four of us, Tyvis is younger, but the other three of us, we've been covering the Browns for a while now. And of all the players I've covered in Cleveland, maybe the craziest, weirdest, oddest human being that we've ever covered was a former teammate of yours, Peyton Hillis.
Oh, I know Peyton.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't say you wouldn't know him. I just said you didn't cover him.
No.
Yeah.
Neither was y'all.
But I didn't play with him. We covered him. What was he like as a teammate?
No, he was a great guy. And that story that just came out about him saving, I think, one of his children and a niece or nephew, that was probably, I mean, look, when he was on the cover of Madden, I was still in high school, I think, when he was making that play. And then I got to New York, and he showed up, and I was like, all right, what the heck's this guy all about? And, consummate professional, doing all the things the right way, went out there and ran hard. We got him towards the back end of his career, so, at that running back position, it's hard coming off of some injuries and going through all that. I think for his career, I wish he would have stayed in Cleveland. I think it was like the perfect match made in heaven out here. But yeah, he was a great teammate. Can't say enough good things. I really don't have there hasn't been one teammate that I've ever had that I'm just like, oh, I hate that guy. Really? In football, you don't like seriously. There's some guys you're like, oh, he's probably not going to be around long. But for the most part, when you get in a locker room with guys and you have a common goal to all go win a championship or go out there and win games, and then you go through hell and you don't win a lot of games and you're 2-8 and it's snowing and you don't want to go out there and play, and then you realize you look across the locker room like, I'm playing for all these guys in here. It's actually when you find out what you're made of as a man and as a team and as a teammate. And I've been through a lot of adversity in the NFL, haven't won a lot of games, and I look forward to finding out what the guys are made of and who you want to have in the foxhole when things get right. And I think the Browns are much closer than they are further away, and you're going to start finding out who you want to have on this team going forward.
Justin, let me ask you about a Giants legend who's probably might make the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning, does he make the Hall of Fame?
I already knew where you were going.
Or does he not? I want to know. What do you think?
There's one thing I found out in the NFL: you don't mess with NFL royalty. So you got the Mannings, you got Larry Fitzgerald. Like, there's some names out there that you just don't mess with them. I guarantee Eli gets in this first time around. He's a Manning. There's no way he's not getting around. He's 2-time Super Bowl champion. Played in the hardest market probably to play in. Like maybe Dallas might be tougher media-wise. And he got the Super Bowl ring, man. He got 2 of them. So I think he makes it, no questions asked. I know it's a controversial topic, but I don't think it is.
Well, let me ask you about tonight's game. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, obviously they say the weather is going to be an impact, or it's supposed to be snowing and rainy. Which one of those do you think affects their game, and which one do you think has the better game tonight?
That's a tough question. I mean, look, Russ has shown he's not turning the ball over. He's completing deep balls. They kicked 6 field goals last week, so it wasn't like he was getting in the end zone every time. I think George Pickens has one of the best, catch radiuses in the NFL. If he can sometimes stay out of his own way, it's more fun watching him off the ball, seeing him like do WWE moves against guys. Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches in the NFL. I just think Cleveland's has a more talented roster. I think the quarterback position has been a little bit what was holding the team back here in Cleveland. I think the game tonight is built for Cleveland. I think Pittsburgh's coming in thinking that, Cleveland's going to be down and out and Nick Chubb's going to get after it. I like the offensive line. Yes, the left tackle position is something to note. But Alex Highsmith, is he playing tonight?
Do we know that yet?
I think it's still questionable.
Yeah,
I haven't seen an official declaration.
No official declaration.
Herbig's a good player. Preston Smith's a good player. No, but he's there. But I think the Browns are going to come out and surprise people. I think Myles Garrett's going to come out like a man possessed. Shout out to my boy Jordan Hicks, that middle linebacker there. I think he's going to play well. And Jameis is going to get you 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Let's just hope the interceptions are early enough in the game where they're not detrimental to the win.
Justin, let's wrap it up with the
Highsmith is out, by the way.
Highsmith is out. Okay. We'll wrap it up with the
Brownies.
The most important subject. It's food, of course. Big surprise that I'm asking about food. So you had tweeted for food recommendations, restaurant recommendations in Cleveland. I saw some of the responses. Some people gave you good advice. Some people gave you terrible advice. Have you picked your restaurants yet? So we can advise you if you're making good choices?
It's still in flux. So give me your top 3 right now. What do I got to go try? I just landed, so it's time to go eat.
So I saw somebody, one of the first people that responded mentioned a place called the Marble Room, which is a steakhouse, which is obviously a great choice. To me, there's the best place. One of my favorite restaurants is a breakfast joint. Are you looking for breakfast tomorrow?
Let me know. What is it?
All right, place is called the Sleepy Rooster. It's on the east. It's on the east side of town. I'm telling you, it's the best breakfast I've ever had. And finally,
trust him. He's a New York snob with food.
I'm a New York food snob, so you know how we are. You played in New York for a while. So, and finally, even though it's not a restaurant in a traditional fashion, when you come to Cleveland, you have to get Mitchell's ice cream. I know it's bad weather.
Perfect.
I know it's cold, but it's the best ice cream you will ever have. Mitchell's ice cream. There's a location not far from downtown that you can hit. So that would be the recommendations there.
Well, I'll report back on all that, but I got to give a shout out to all the Browns fans, man. I put out a tweet that I was coming. This has been the biggest support that I've gotten from any fan base. You guys have been unbelievable. I'm excited to get to the game. I know you said 2-8. I couldn't imagine if you guys were 8-2 because the support has been tremendous. So I appreciate you guys following along and supporting me on this journey. Look forward to seeing the game tonight too.
And how do we watch? Tell us how we watch the piece you're going to put together for this game.
Yeah, I release every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. So if you follow me on any social media accounts, at Justin Pugh on Twitter, my YouTube channel, at Justin Pugh 67, we'll be releasing this episode Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
And that's Justin, awesome. You're going to be in the Muni lot tonight, correct?
Yes, sir.
I will be in the Muni lot. I'm hearing about some keg bowling, so I don't know.
I'll send you a video of the keg bowling so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. What was it? Donovan Mitchell was out there. Myles Garrett's been out there before games. It's nuts when the team is good.
Oh yeah,
the Muni lot is like nothing else. It makes the Giants tailgate look like an absolute joke, or the Jets.
Actually, it should still be pretty good tonight.
It'll still be good.
I'm gonna say, like the people that are there tonight that are sticking it out, like those are the real deal. So I'm excited. So if you're gonna be there tonight, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on whatever social media. I'll come check out your tailgate, try the food. I want to meet the fans. I want to meet the real deal fans. So
there you go.
If you're out there right now, hit me up on X and we'll link up.
I think more people will tailgate than go to the game, honestly.
Probably.
I think people will go tailgate and then
go get hammered with Justin and then just go home. Right. And then maybe pass out in their cars. Who knows? Yeah. Justin, have fun, man. Thanks for taking the time with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin.
This is amazing, guys. Thank you. Take care.
Man. That was good. It's funny. That segment he did with the Eagles, it was good stuff.
I'm excited to see what he gets and puts out for Monday because, like you said, weather's not great. It could be a crazy crowd. I expect it to be crazy, and we'll see how many people make their way into the game. But the Browns never lose a tailgate, so
never.
It's a good one.
That's true.
It's going to be some good food. We were down there last year. It was lit last year, man.
We all nice warm day too.
Yeah, we all was down there kicking it.
I'm mad I didn't get a chance to go.
You live in Timbuktu?
No, I have pregame.
You live in Worcester.
I do not live in Worcester.
You live with the Amish.
That's so far away. The only thing out there is Smuckers.
Go ahead.
We got to get Justin back on. He was great.
He was awesome.
But B, Dustin asked him a question, Myles versus TJ. He gave you the first-hand perspective as someone who
I stole it from you. Yeah,
has actually blocked both of them throughout the parts of his career. I'm curious from you guys. Myles won DPOI last year. His statistics.
The Steelers have still been whining about it, and
I know.
And Watt embarrassingly has been whining about it.
Look, man.
Do you still think Myles, despite a little bit backtracking this year, is the undisputed best pass rusher between those two?
Of course. Why you ask him? You ask me. You ask me that idolize pass rushers for a living. I was watching fat dudes pass rush when people start. Listen, Myles Garrett is the most gifted pass rusher almost ever. You heard what he said. He said, bro, this dude, he has all of the moves. And by the way, he's like 280. You got to think about
Myles
this man.
Garrett, 280?
This man about 280, moving around like that, bending, and like he.
That's a little high.
I was about to say,
Bro,
he like 260.
Stop playing with yourself.
Whoa, pause. Pause.
That's 2 in a row with me.
Damn.
That's 2.
I got to check
Mike,
the car
on that
facts
stat graphic, I think you got to put the games played. Are they?
Hey,
I need to know that.
Myles Garrett.
I got to check
Myles
the
Garrett is always fluctuating.
271.
He's between
I don't know if
270,
that's
like between
time of year is
270,
260.
270, 280.
Yeah.
You got to think about this, man. He's arguably probably one of the fastest people. He's faster than Jerry Jeudy.
Is he?
I'm taking Myles Garrett.
He's out of his mind.
I'm taking Myles
Now,
Garrett.
acceleration. Myles is one of those guys that if we got down and did a 40-yard dash, in the first 10 yards, he looked like he'll take off for you.
Yeah.
But you'll walk him
But
down
Jeudy would
eventually.
pass him.
Yeah. That's how I look at it.
What did he run at the combine?
What did he run at the
Like a
combine?
4.5, didn't he?
That's wild.
Didn't he?
What did he run at the combine, McNuggets?
Like a 4.
Myles Garrett. You
Gotta lock in, Mike.
Justin was asking me what the name of the restaurants were. I was texting him back.
Oh, okay. Sleepy Rooster, Marble Room, Mitchell's.
Myles Garrett ran a 4.64 at the combine.
Oh, wow. That's way slower than
Yeah, that's way slower than Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy
What
might
were
win.
you were saying now?
Jerry Jeudy might win that. He might win that. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
He took that back.
Yeah,
But
take
you
that
know
What
back.
was the question, Mike?
But some guys play fast.
TJ or Myles, as this year,
Yeah, look at Puka
because
Nacua.
TJ's having a really good season,
like a
and
4.7
Myles
guy.
had a
Yep.
little bit back statistics.
No.
So
Did
it
it change
did-
your opinion at all?
No.
Whether TJ or Myles is better, who do we think is better? Like, that's the question?
Yeah, has this season, which, by the way, when you look at their stats, despite people telling you TJ's having this incredible statistical season and Myles isn't, if you take it full, Steve, it's pretty similar. Are you still, or have you changed your opinion? Is it still Myles?
Oh, Myles.
I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
TJ Watt has Preston Smith, Alex Hightower, Cam Hayward, all on his same D-line. Myles Garrett has Myles Garrett.
That's it. And it's been
Mike, and the stats is the same. Mic drop. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Myles Garrett's the most talented pass rusher we've seen like since Reggie White. I mean, like he's that good, you know. And I'm torn because I think TJ Watt is not as talented as Myles Garrett, but I think he plays harder sometimes.
I don't disagree with
and
that.
I just that's what bothers me is because like Myles Garrett, I feel like can turn it on whenever he wants to, and that doesn't make him like he's going to be a Hall of Famer no matter what. They're both probably going to be Hall of
TJ
Famers.
Watt has a motor in Myles.
But I would love.
But I just to finish my point, Adam.
go ahead.
I think that TJ is like go all the time, and I don't see with Myles. Myles is coming off a bye week, and he says he's healthy, so I assume he's healthy. And his stat line was 0-0-0 last week. Like
So let me ask you this.
I don't know, man. And they were passing like crazy.
Let me ask you this. This Super Bowl,
Yeah.
one game, who are you taking? You can only pick one.
Myles Garrett.
All right, there we stop. What are we talking about?
I don't know. We're talking about who.
Now, hold on. I will say.
Well,
let
I
me give
needed
this.
to know.
Let me give this to TJ. All jokes aside, let me give this to.
And it's still close, by the way.
TJ Watt's credit. I believe that how hard you play and your motor is a skill set.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is because it is difficult. Most people won't play at that level.
It's called mental toughness, dude. It's like one of those things. Yeah, it's not like an athletic thing. Yeah. But it's one of those things that it's an intangible.
And if you have it, and I think he has to play that way. It makes him that's the reason he is as good as he is because of that. Because he does not have the physical gifts that Myles Garrett has. But at the end of the day, you can't argue with his production. I can't argue with
TJ Watt.
Yeah,
the one thing that I do give TJ Watt the credit of is that they had similar situations, I should say, coming into the season. Mm-hmm. TJ Watt seen that offense, he seen how it looked, and he said, you know what? But this has been the thing. We got to play really great defense. And TJ Watt has had moments where he's completely taken over a game. Right. Offense ain't going to score. Bet. I'll do it myself.
And he'll get a sack fumble himself.
And Myles, we've seen Myles do that only a couple of times.
And that's
will
fair.
Say that.
And obviously, whenever this argument happens, it always feels like you're insulting the other guy.
It's not.
When they're both sensational and both will be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, both of them Hall of Famers.
I would definitely take Myles Garrett, and I would argue fairly that Myles Garrett is double teamed way more than TJ Watt.
I agree.
And that's ultimately, I don't know if TJ Watt necessarily outworks
that out.
What's that?
I'm sure we could find that
out.
Oh,
yeah, we've seen the stats before. It's clear.
Yeah.
Now, let's face it. If you were voting for defensive lineman MVP of the AFC North, neither guy would win this year right now. It would be Trey Hendrickson.
You just had to make sure you included that.
Let's be honest.
I put in the rundown last night.
And by the way, he has even less talent around him than Myles Garrett does, which is amazing.
I put in the rundown last night. Both couldn't make that case. We got Aditi with us. We're going to bring Aditi in after we say thank you to all our viewers out there who watch UCSS regularly. November is all about gratitude, and along with you guys, we have to thank someone else, and that is ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything, and in this crazy world, it's not always easy. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to people in your life, including yourself. If you haven't thought about starting therapy, now is the perfect time to give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. And with that, what's up, Aditi? How you doing today?
I'm great, except that in the 6 minutes that I've been waiting, my internet has been perfect, and all of a sudden, as you were doing that read, it glitched a little bit. So if I glitch, I'll call you all right back.
Aditi, all right, well, that's fair. What do you think? What do you think of Mikey?
You're going to ask me. I know you're going to ask me.
No, I'm going to ask you a question you won't mind answering. What is your opinion on Mikey McNugget's mustache right now? Have you seen it?
Mikey, I love you. Not a fan of the mustache.
Are you a fan of mustaches
I remember, Mikey, I'll tell you. I remember years ago when this was like a thing, like the Movember. What was that about? Like, why did men have mustaches in November?
Prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so my husband did that, and this was like before children, and I said, I'm not kissing you while that like caterpillar is on your mouth. Like, it was just...
His girlfriend actually likes it. Can you believe that?
I kept it because my girlfriend liked it, so that was... change of pace. Yeah, curveball, Aditi.
All right, maybe she feels like she's sleeping with a different man. Maybe you should like really look into why she likes it that much.
That was cool.
Oh my God!
Hey!
Wow!
Ty Jerome!
I've been nothing but good to Aditi. She's asked to change times. We're very flexible with Aditi when she comes on the show, and then she
really needed to get me. I thought that I would get enough trouble getting into this TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett conversation for the 5 millionth time, but then you got me in even more trouble. I thought we were friends, Bull. Come on.
Bull is so
sorry.
It's okay, Aditi.
I didn't know you were going to suggest that Mikey's girlfriend wants to be with other partners. But
don't worry, Aditi. I'll save you. Let's talk about the quarterbacks in this game. You got Jameis Winston, who's coming off of a monster game, but obviously they lost. And then you got Russell Wilson, who's been doing really well with Pittsburgh. The weather does supposed to play a little bit of, it's supposed to be windy, a little snow, a little rain in there. What quarterback would you take tonight?
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't care. Let me just go back. Tyvis, don't tell me somebody's got a monster game in a loss. Like, you know what?
That is very fair.
We'll go back to the Steelers' Week 1 game where Justin Fields was the quarterback in Atlanta, and everybody said it was insanely ugly, and he never threw in the middle of the field, and blah, blah, blah. He executed the game plan, and they won. And they avoided one of the best safeties in the game in Jesse Bates. That's all I care about. Does the quarterback do what he needs to do, protect the ball, and lead his team to victory? So this 400 yards, like, I'd much rather have 100 yards and a win than 395 yards. So, okay, setting that aside, yes, Russell Wilson has played well, and Russell Wilson's setup is tremendous because he's got a great defense, he's got a great run game, and he's got a phenomenal offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith, who is playing absolutely to his strengths. But still, are we completely 100% sure that the Russell Wilson we've seen the last 2 or 3 years is exercised and that guy is totally gone? The flip is, Bull and I were talking about this offline yesterday. Is this going to feel like a home game for the Steelers? Are the Browns going to come out and see all of those terrible towels and be even further demoralized?
100%.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, what kind of energy then, Dustin, do you have if you walk into your own building and the defense needs that crowd? And what if that crowd is a Steelers crowd?
They're going to be Steelers fans. They're going to be mostly Steelers fans tonight. That's what happens. I mean, go back before Baker Mayfield came here and the Browns got to the playoffs and had some winning seasons. It was December games against Pittsburgh and Cleveland, or November, like when the Browns were basically ruled out of the playoffs. The Cleveland Browns Stadium becomes terrible towel central. And it's embarrassing. It is. It's totally embarrassing, but I get it because Browns fans don't want to go watch a 2-8 football team, and I don't blame them.
Well, and that, to my point, that's going to make it harder on Jameis Winston and that offensive line that hasn't exactly been clean in any way if it suddenly feels like an away game. And that's not going to help a defense.
That means they're going to have to come out fast offensively because you're going to have to try to take the crowd out of it so that you can get the Browns fans that are, a minority to some degree at this game to get them to kind of get into a little bit more too. I think it's going to be vital for the Browns to do that. Kevin Stefanski, go down the field, the first drive, scripted that whole thing. Otherwise, I mean, you're right. I think the Pittsburgh fans take over the game. I think the Steelers probably take over the game, and they'll make it ugly, and they'll win 20-3. That's what will happen.
And you know what? And that's an AFC North game. Last week I was in Tennessee, and it's funny, Ramon Foster, who played for the Steelers for over a decade, is the Titans sideline guy, radio guy, and then Anthony Levine, who played for the Ravens forever, special team stalwart, is now on the Titans coaching staff. And before the game, we were all together and hugging, and I joked to Anthony, "Are you actually friends with Ramon?" And Anthony goes, "Not today, I'm not." And then in the middle of the game at some point, I'm looking at my phone, and the score is 15-10. And I say to Ramon, is that not a Ravens-Steelers score? So to your point, what you're saying, 20-3, that's an AFC North score. It will be ugly. When you're talking about TJ Watt, it will be about who is mentally tougher. It is about who can be cleaner, and it can drown out whatever it is, whether it's the snow, the wind, the rain, or the crowd. That's it.
Aditi, I've heard everybody talk here, and so what you're telling me is that it's unacceptable if the Browns win this football game. The Steelers lose this game, it is unacceptable in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yeah, no, it's funny, G, because I do this weekly radio spot in Pittsburgh. And yesterday they asked me that. And I guess 2 of the hosts on this station have said, I mean, if the Steelers fall, those are things that kind of happen. And everybody destroyed these 2 guys because they were saying that no way, you can't possibly go on the road to Cleveland against a 2-8 team and lose. I said I agreed with the first 2. In the AFC North, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I remember several years ago when the Steelers were playing, I think it was week 16 of a 17-week season, they needed a win to make the playoffs. They go into Baltimore against a 3-win Ravens team, and Ryan Mallett beats them. Stuff like that happens. That's what happens in division games. Guys, I hate to do this. I'm so sorry, but a Patriots player is calling me right now.
Go. You gotta go.
Not supposed to be calling me. Yes.
Go. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Give us some inside scoops on Patriot
really
players.
I promise.
No, go.
We'll see you later.
Come on.
Bernie's going to be on later. I gotta knock Bernie here. He'll have a chance to defend himself a little bit. But Bernie has invited a Steelers fan into the studio here.
Bernie's gonna explain the situation. Wow. Don't take him on camera, please. Bernie will explain the situation when he sits out there. There is a very, very, very good reason. I promise. So don't start ripping on him yet, Bull. Trust me.
We'll wait till Bernie comes out to rip him.
Bernie will give you a very valid
All
reason
right.
as to why.
Bernie gets a lot of benefit. Bernie gets more benefit of the doubt than anybody else in Cleveland.
And you're gonna.
But it was a stunner. I was stunned to see a Steelers fan walk into the studio.
Bernie, did you bring me a sniffer? One of those sniffers? Okay.
Yeah, we got to get Jet Dustin the sniffer.
So we'll bring Bernie out in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
But I got one more question for you guys.
I didn't steal it.
All right.
I got one more question for you guys before we get Bernie to come out there. So, in a hypothetical world, let's say these are the two options. Would you rather beat the Steelers tonight or get the number 1 overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft? If those are two options, which would you rather choose?
Of course you'd rather have the number 1 pick.
Of course you'd rather have the number 1 pick.
I know.
What are we talking about?
In the moment, you don't want to lose to the Steelers because spoiling their season, or not that you'd spoil their season by beating them, but negatively affecting their season would be fun. But if you have a chance to get the number 1 pick, you'd always rather have the number 1 pick. But, I feel like you might disagree.
I'm not losing no games.
Then it's Tyvus.
Tyvus, go ahead.
Well, look. I mean, you talk about me.
Are we talking about fans? We talking about players?
Yeah, who you ask?
The team wants to win.
Of course the team wants to win.
Now, maybe the Haslam's would like them to get the number 1 pick.
Kevin Stefanski don't care nothing about them picks.
I'm telling you.
Because if he got the number 1 pick, that means he ain't going to be picking number 1. Him or Andrew Berry, if they got the number 1 pick.
That's how I feel.
And it's a lot of dudes on the field that won't be here.
That's true.
So they don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, we know that. But the question was asked to us. What do you want?
Give me the pick, dude. Come on, all day. Give me the pick.
As much as it pains me,
give me the win.
What's that going to do for you?
They ain't going to do that
Help
for you.
me come on this show and have good time.
It
helps.
Everybody go take
you know what
pick,
it does for me?
Everybody go
when
take
I'm
the
up tonight at 1:00 in the morning, it'll be better to try to de-escalate, some of these fans. It'll be better to talk ball with them than them have a negative opinion about everything. So a win, 1,000%, because it impacts me. Thank you.
You know what's the sad part is that teams like the freaking Steelers, it doesn't even matter where they draft. They end up getting good players. Not all the time, but more often than not, the Steelers, the Ravens, it's irrelevant where they draft. They don't need the 1st overall pick. They've had one scrubby quarterback after the next.
Sound like you
you
got a loser's mentality.
That's not a loser. What do you mean?
Because you want them to lose so they get the 1st pick. If they just get the pick correct,
I don't even think
it don't matter where they pick.
The way they are, they won't even get it correct with the 1st overall.
So why do you want them to have it?
Here's what I.
So why do you want them to have it?
Here's what I would like to.
Come on over, boy. Come on over.
If you ask me what it would look like, what the best way will be, is the Browns play and they're super competitive the rest of the season. Jameis Winston continues to play well, and then you say, okay, well, we're going to bring him back, and you still get the number 1 pick. And if they play competitive.
Okay, so what you do with that pick?
So if you play competitively throughout I could do a lot of things.
I just want to know what you would specifically
who are you taking right now if you had the number 1 pick?
Travis Hunter.
Well, you're not taking one of the quarterbacks.
With that, then you need to trade down.
I could probably trade down and still
get the,
Right. And then I could parlay that pick with some other stuff, and I know I got Jameis Winston, and then I could go back and look around and say, okay, well now I got the best corner and I got the best receiver in the draft.
But let's say this though. Let's say you are not the one making the pick. Andrew Berry's making the pick.
If Andrew Berry is making a pick, in my scenario, Andrew Berry doesn't get fired.
Okay.
Because if they're competitive.
So who do you think Andrew Berry would take?
So who's Andrew Berry picking?
I don't think Andrew Berry would take a quarterback.
You think he'd take Travis Hunter?
I think he would take the best non-quarterback. I don't think they like this quarterback
class. So that's
class.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you guys take Travis Hunter? 2 former DBs here?
No, I take quarterback.
You believe one of those guys is going to be the next great quarterback?
You talking about if I'm picking one
I haven't
first?
studied them yet. I think there's always a quarterback in every class that can be a great quarterback.
Not every, most.
Well,
the Kenny Pickett year, I don't think there was anybody good.
Right, you get the point what I'm saying. Like there's going to be good players coming out of the draft. I guess I'd have to. You're asking me a question today. It's November.
It's hard.
You know, these guys haven't even finished the year yet, and I think Cam Ward's probably my number one. The one player that I would take at number one, and the reason why is because he's played so much college football, and he's mature enough to come to the league. And I think the Browns could use a guy who can obviously play from the pocket, but also like a super gifted athlete that can do things with his legs.
Who's his NFL comparison?
Man, I don't know.
Who's he play like?
Deshaun Watson.
I don't like to hear that.
Houston. He's not kidding though.
Houston.
Yeah, but Deshaun's banged up, man. Like Deshaun hasn't been Deshaun.
Yeah, right.
Houston Deshaun.
All right.
Houston.
If he's Houston
But
Deshaun,
but I do. But here's the thing, though. I do like Cam Ward. His arm angles is crazy. Like the way.
Well, Patrick Mahomes has some crazy arm angles.
Yeah, Caleb Williams has that arm angle ability where he just
can flick it.
He can flick it, just boom. He 3/4 sidearm. Mm-hmm. He moves in and out of the pocket like he real calm. He's super smart. The only problem is I just hate, like, for the last, how many years have we said, we got to get a quarterback that plays on time. We got to get a quarterback. We talked about Johnny Manziel playing out of the system. We talked about Deshaun Watson playing out of the system.
Well,
what kind of system do they play in Miami?
Well, hold on, because
not out of a system, just out of structure.
Yeah. For a long time, I would agree with you, and I'm mad that she had to take a phone call. But Aditi came on last week or 2 weeks ago when she was talking about Kyler Murray, how they're running Kevin Stefanski's system. Kyler Murray wasn't a one-time guy. He was one of those guys that scrambled around, and look at them now.
He's having a good season. They're playing well.
If he can do that,
hopefully,
then why couldn't Cam Ward or whoever do that?
But that's my ultimate scenario.
You know, but you also know why Kyler Murray is able to do what he's doing? Because James Conner is having a great year. When you can run that ball, man. Oh, man, it make everything
He's one of the most underrated
and
backs
right
in the
now, that's our
Crazy.
The reason why we struggle is because we cannot run that ball.
I got to ask you guys something on a related note. Let me ask you guys something. Yesterday, I saw
it's a video.
Some guy who covers Boise State. Was Boise State playing yesterday or something?
No, they didn't play yesterday.
Maybe it was an older tweet.
What about
Ashton Genty?
I saw some dude that covers Boise State taking shots at Travis Hunter because he was like the Boise State corner, who I guess is a good player. I don't know what his name is. And he's like, he's got way more tackles. And my first thought was like, who cares how many tackles Travis Hunter has?
Disregard this man's comment.
This guy's not. That's ridiculous.
You know,
to bring up, right?
So on Sunday, I went to the Bills game. So I'm in Buffalo, and I'm at the hotel before the game, and I run into one of my former teammates, Peerless Price.
Okay, remember him?
Legend,
wide receiver.
Legend,
the wide receiver from Buffalo.
He was Peyton Manning's go-to guy, dude, and they were number one in the country. So
were you there with Lee Evans?
I was.
Yeah. Go Bearcats.
I played college against him.
Bedford Bearcats.
Bedford. So anyway, Peerless is like, loves Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Thinks he's a really good receiver.
Yeah.
A great receiver, and thinks he's not a great corner.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, sell me on it. And he kind of did a little bit. It's like, he only has, what does he have, 2-3 picks?
Right.
And
isn't it, I don't watch enough. I was told they never throw his direction. Is that not true?
I don't watch it. I've watched Colorado play 3 times this year, probably. Maybe twice, 2-3 times. And I'm impressed with his athleticism, but he hasn't made exceptional plays. It's not like he's doing his offensive numbers are insane. Like he has 9 touchdowns or 10 touchdowns on the season, but everyone keeps pointing out the interceptions. And he was Peerless. Now we're old heads. Like we remember the Champ Baileys of the world, who was putting up some really pretty good numbers too.
Corners are not like that anymore.
Yeah, no.
The last one like that was probably Sherr.
But you can't put hands on receivers like
a consistent. No, I'm talking like year in, year out. Like they ain't giving up nothing.
Listen, I get the Black Caucus Coach Prime DVDs every week.
Okay, good.
So by default, I watch Colorado every week.
Makes sense.
He's jumping. Last year, he was jumping stuff in zone coverage. He didn't even have no business being over there. I'm like, how are you jumping routes?
Who did that with?
Hunter last year.
Oh.
I'm like,
he's the best athlete in this draft.
I'm like, how you jumping that? Now, for me, the question is, are you going to maximize what you're going to do with him? Because if I'm taking him number one, you're going to play offense and defense.
The question is, is Prime going to let him come to Cleveland? That's really what it comes down to.
If I'm a team, I'm using him on offense, and then I'm using him on select defensive plays.
Is Deion going to let him come to Cleveland? No.
I don't know.
Maybe if he's the coach.
Yeah.
Did you hear him on Ice Cube's podcast?
Somebody, I didn't hear it, but I've been seeing
Ice
something
Cube was
about
asking him about,
coaching the Cowboys.
Basically, like, how far would you go to help your son become the best player?
Yeah.
And like, he coaches him in college. He's coached him forever. And Ice Cube was asking him, like, would you, and Deion didn't close the door on it.
Of course.
That's cool. Didn't Michael Irvin came out like they going to be a package deal to Dallas or something?
We'll see what Bernie thinks about that.
I have
when we
some
bring him
poll
in.
results first, though. Put in the
poll
chat.
Results. Yeah.
Number one pick or beat the Steelers?
Oh.
Over 300 votes.
50-50, I say.
55 beat the Steelers, 45.
That's what I
give me
figured.
the number one pick.
That's right.
So with that, let's do a read and let's bring in Bernie Kosar. We've had an offensive lineman, we've had Aditi, and let's bring our resident quarterback to the show.
Yes, sir.
Before we do that, we've all felt like we're burning cash with rent payments before. It's frustrating, but here's the deal. Built Rewards has figured out a way to make rent more rewarding. Say goodbye to the money bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent every month. Pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. You can use those points to jet off on a dream vacation, put your points towards a flight or hotel, stay with over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties. You can also use points to book fitness studio classes or redeem them towards a future rent payment. They're designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built Points has been consistently ranked as the highest value point currency by the Points Guys and Bankrate. You can earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL. That is joinbuilt, JOINBILT.com/LockedOnNFL. Make sure you use that URL so they know we sent you, joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNFL, to start earning points with your rent payments today.
By the way, I had 3 more restaurants that I had to send Justin Pugh's way that I texted Mike. Sweet Pork Wilson's, of course. Slyman's.
Okay.
And Larder, which is a great
Larder's
place.
delicious.
All right.
Anyway, Bernie is with us.
Hey, guys.
By the way,
we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, and it's not me, and it's not DeJuan Jones. A Steelers fan into the studio. Bernie, say it ain't so.
I'm not drinking again or back taking drugs, okay? Although the TBI or CTE could be legitimate here, that I'm traveling with a TJ Watt wannabe today.
Wow.
And I'm thinking about where you guys are not drinking your coffee powder.
We're total slackers.
I'll tell you what I'm on.
At home.
I am on the Addy. Not not the other one. Not the prescription pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
The one. Hey, they Kosar. Listen, I had to drop it down to 1. I was so focused. They said take 2. I had to step it down. My wife was like, "You wide awoke." I said, "I know." My eyes about this big right now.
I had to step it down too. It's just I can take 1 capsule and one drink.
I was like,
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's actually flushing the sugar and toxins out of you too, while keeping you energized.
See?
And that's actually why we have our Steeler fans here today, and the Browns representative, the awesome Stephen Gregg, is here. And typically I don't dance around and hang with the Pittsburgh Steeler contingent, especially on Steeler game day here in Cleveland. But Zach Apple is here as an Army veteran, 39 years old, originally from Altoona, Pennsylvania. And he's granting a wish for Stephen Gregg. And me and Stephen met at the opener of the Dallas game, but it got a little hectic because my daughter went into labor.
I remember
and,
that.
We had a baby, and I became a grandfather that day. But Stephen's battling some massive health issues right now with leukemia and stuff. So some of the natural things that I'm doing, I've been working with Stephen on, and Zach. It's just been an amazing, despite the fact that he's a misguided Steeler fan, it's just been an amazing man.
He most importantly fought for our country. So we
fought for our country, dealing with some of the
that.
PTS stuff with Veterans Day last week and stuff. He's dealing with some of that issues too. So some of the natural addies and some of the pea protein powder, raw coffee powder, is Zach and Stephen are doing. But it's more so about Zach, despite that TJ Watt jersey and the awesome gift and Make-A-Wish that he's doing, bringing Steven to town to watch our Browns somehow, some way get to 3-8.
Well, we had former NFL offensive lineman Justin Pugh on earlier. He works with Amazon Prime. He does the tailgate thing, and he predicted the Browns would win. Are you feeling as good about that?
So I was coming here with the optimism in hand as I'm trying to admit that positivity to Steven and Zach today. And Mike Tomlin's 1-9 on Thursday Night Football. He has not won on the road against a AFC North opponent, so that bodes well for us. It bodes well that teams that play the Baltimore Ravens, a physical team, tend to lose the next week, so that bodes well for us. But in terms of the way this season is going and my awesome respect for Mike Tomlin and the way the season has been, this is still a tough call for us tonight. But we do have some things from the statistical stuff going, and then the air of desperation. The awesome segment that you guys were just doing about the reality if we keep losing and if we do have the first pick, there's certain people that won't be here executing that decision. So there's a balance in a rivalry game like this, and feelings do matter, and job preservation is absolutely at stake for the players and coaches and front office people that are watching this show right now.
Bernie, this is the first time Nick Chubb is going against Pittsburgh since the tragic injury. What do you think he's feeling emotionally, and do you think that could this be a breakout game for him? Because everybody's still holding on the fact that he can get back to himself. He's had some couple of carries where it's went for 15 yards. Is this the game that he can pull that off? Even with the elements, it's going to be a heavy run game.
I so want that to be. I love it. This would be me, I believe, going back to my Disney World youth right now, or my heavy alcohol drinking consumption. This weather out there yesterday was torturous with the wind that happened. So it's dissipated some today, but it's supposed to be in that 15 to 20 mile an hour winds as it's getting cold, and possibly light rain and stuff tonight. The Steelers are notorious about taking and shutting down the run. And with this miserable throwing conditions, I think they're going to pack the box even more and really be Nick Chubb the focal point of shutting him down. So I would love to see that. I want to see that. But the Steelers are going to condense the line of scrimmage, almost that rugby scrum crap. And this is going to be a tough ask for Nick to do that.
All right, so the weather conditions are going to stink. We know that. You've played in these conditions many times, probably a lot more than Jameis Winston has played. What advice would you give to him going into a game like this? 36 degrees, snow, sleet, like brutal conditions, wind going to be gusting. We know that. Like, what would you tell Jameis? A mindset, like, do this, don't do this. What would you say?
Yeah, that's a great question. There were game plans this time of the year where there's good weather and then there's bad weather game plans and stuff. And this is absolutely the latter of that. So, being a realist, that you got to go in and have certain plays in mind. And there's some easier plays that, you could dip to in the screen game and in the play action and the boot game. And because Jameis hasn't been overly running, that would be absolutely something that I would try to implement more of. Just like I would anticipate Justin Fields getting snaps today and him kind of running like Taysom Hill punished us last week with. So they're going to do the same thing without JOK in there. That's an incredible issue for us. So that's one thing that that's Jameis's issue. But then also for Jameis, with this wind, and it'd be too long for right now, but there's certain tells that our wind does within the stadium when it blows from the cold northwest like it is today, that will do things inside the 50-yard line that you must understand below the uprights as to what the wind's going to do below the uprights and in certain directions. Then if you happen to throw it with a lot of air on it, what it does when it gets above the uprights, which is opposite of what it does below the uprights.
Man, you need to be texting Jameis right now. What you talking? Like, you got the whole blueprint out there.
Yeah.
We can't have balls sailing on us today.
No, that's exact, and that's where, again, some quarterbacks in the past, you could look and see that They did not throw any completions on fade routes going from east to west inside the 50-yard line to their left because of the way the wind materializes and looks and affects the ball. And I know we're pros and we're supposed to just deal with the elements, but you have to understand the elements to take advantage of them.
So kind of along the line with what Dustin was saying, when you're playing a game out there, what is the most, I guess, the biggest hindrance? Some people, will think that just the cold weather. Is it games that are just cold, games where the football is wet, or games where the wind is going, or games when you can't get your footing? Like, which is the most difficult place to be in?
As one of the slowest guys in the world, I love the bad footing because I had the same consistent speed, and you athletes were slowed down. Okay, so you came back to the pack to me, and I actually really embraced excessive heat or excessive cold or excessive rain or excessive snow, because that again brought the athletes back to the pack. The thing that neutralized me, but I had to bluff through it when I was playing, is I hated wind. Like, I would have been miserable right now at 12:33. Okay, I would have been miserably uncomfortable coming scrambling to get my win game plan right now. This is a terrible feeling for a quarterback if he knows the type of wind it's going to get tonight.
Bernie, I'm curious, when you played against the other great quarterbacks of your era, whether it was, especially the AFC guys, like Marino, Kelly, Boomer, Warren Moon, Dan Fouts, right? Was that extra motivation? Because Myles Garrett's playing against TJ Watt. Like, I'm curious, did you have extra motivation, even though you're not playing directly? So
my answer, that's a great question. My answer was, and I love Myles, okay? Yeah. But that's not my answer, okay? Even though it is kind of true, you do pay attention. Yeah. Okay, because I knew all those names, and I'm so thankful that those are the names you mentioned, because I came out on top against most of all those names.
Yes, you did.
Thank you for not saying John.
I left him out.
Joe Montana.
I left him out.
But for a 5'5" running quarterback who lost $185 for that era, I'll take being third to those two. Okay.
That's right.
With being all those other names.
Yeah.
So that's something that it is in your head, but it's in your head knowing, like, are some games that you could make a mistake or two, and that you could have a chance to rectify that mistake. When you're playing those type guys, you knew, although I'm not playing against them, I knew I couldn't make multiple screw ups. So I had to be a little more focused. That's kind of what gives me the ideas on some of my wellness products. Being focused, being attentive, knowing the ramifications of mistakes. When you're playing those type guys, you can't really have them. And I was a little surprised that because I love to say nothing in the lead up to games, even if it's true. And I would talk smack during the game, but that's the game. Because you don't want to wake a sleeping giant.
Sure.
And the Steelers are coming off. They felt good about themselves. They didn't expect to be 8-2. They didn't expect to have a solid, whether they win or lose, they're going to be in first place in the AFC. Yeah. They didn't expect to do this. They're coming on the road to come to Cleveland, where they're 1-9. Coach Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches ever, who has a chance to have his 18th consecutive winning season today. They were ripe to maybe be a little lethargic early. When you talk about the big dog, number 90, their superstar, that kind of raises their attention over there. And you want to keep that dog sleeping as long as possible.
Bernie, it's been a lot of talk this week about Stefanski being on the hot seat with the 2-8 start. Do you think a two-time Coach of the Year just signed an extension? Do you think that that's fair for him to be on the hot seat?
So I get to talk and stuff, so no is the short answer. I am not his marketing guy. Mm-hmm. I don't overly talk to him, so I'm not a Browns employee. And I really like him as a head coach. Mm-hmm. And I two-time head coach of the year. I know it's almost like I had to go down to West Virginia this week for some medical stuff. West Virginia has a really good medical school. I drove through Pittsburgh. So I listened to talk radio in Pittsburgh. It amazes me that they have Mike Tomlin at times on the hot seat. Okay, and they were complaining that they're 8-2. Oh, it was a lucky 8-2 over there. I know we're on the other side of the spectrum with the weather or with the record like we have, but like change for change's sake, I know it makes us feel good in the short run, just like the poll question of do we want to beat the Steelers or have the number one pick. Change makes you feel good, but who are you going to change to that's really going to rectify the issue? And I know we say Mike Vrabel and stuff, but it's more than, I believe, just the Kevin Stefanski issue right now.
No doubt about it. Bernie, tonight when Jameis takes the field, so far in the first 3 games he's played 2 good games against defenses that are not particularly good. He struggled against a really good pass defense in the Chargers. Yesterday we had another former NFL quarterback on, Sean King, and he feels like Jameis is the answer, at least for the time being, even going into next year. He thinks Jameis should be the quarterback going forward. I'm not ready to go that far yet. What do you think? Like, do you think he could reasonably be the starter next year again? Or are you not ready to go there yet?
So I really like Jameis. I love how he played last Sunday, and even though it looked like a blowout and stuff, to make plays like that and almost throw for 400 yards the way things have been going this year, I thought was really cool. I know that may not overly excite people, and I am want to be positive on the quarterbacks and stuff, but I'm not trying to just replicate positivity by saying the compliments towards Jameis. And I do think, though, he can be the guy as the quarterback next year, mainly because a redo is coming, and to throw a rookie quarterback like Caleb Williams, the Bears, with a loaded offense, right. And look at how they're struggling. Right. Let's not crush the next guy's career before it starts. Right. So Jameis, yes, could be that quarterback like Gary Danielson was to me, right. And Gary was a massive influence to me positively. I believe Jameis as a starter, like that Joe Flacco type stuff, would be amazing starting, and then a great influence for a guy to try to get through the Drake May stuff. Look at how Drake May looks kind of good, and he cruised in about week 5 or 6, and or sitting out a year like Love did. So that
Mahomes also
did.
Cam Ward, these guys were talking about him before. I know you've mentioned him before. He's your Miami guy.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with my You Matter and Miami stuff. I love him, and I love Shedeur Sanders. And like, for people like deciding, like, should Deion stay or should he go? Should he take care of his son? Well, great coaches are made by great players, and his son's a great player. So if he likes being in the quarterback in the coaching world, that his son could play. So that type of system that he's doing, and those type of guys like Cam Ward, I think they're ready. They're ready to go. But I think throwing them in right away, you risk something. And we know, though, we're going to take the salary cap issue really coming up. So to have a Jameis and have a veteran that could ease even a superstar quarterback, and I put Cam Ward not because of UM, I put him up there with Shedeur. As a guy that's special.
You know, Bernie.
With Patrick Hunter, I'm with that. You guys on that too.
I was sitting there thinking, and I was talking to my dad, and we was talking about why people love the '80s Browns so much. Like, all those guys, like, they come on the show, and the reason why we love those iterations is because you guys had a floor. Like, you knew, like, oh, if it's a bad year, you're still going to give me 9-10 wins, right? If you have a really terrible year, you're still going to get 7, right? Now, I think the problem and why so many fans, and I saw a bunch of fans at the Cavs game last night, and a bunch of them was just dejected. And they kept just saying, like, it's demoralizing that the Steelers, even when they're not supposed to be good, even when they get retread quarterbacks and Justin Fields and nobody wants Russell Wilson. Yeah, here you go with them again. These guys are 8-2, but even when we have Super Bowl aspirations, we're the evil twin, the kid that doesn't get. We get the generic shoes, they get the Jordans. We're 2-8. How are they able to consistently have a level floor where it don't matter Duck Hodges or
Bubby
Mason
Brister,
Rudolph, Bubby Brister, guys like that. It's just it makes me crazy.
They were mediocre with a guy named Bubby.
Neil O'Donnell.
That's because I got to beat him.
Why do you like
Tommy Maddox.
Neil O'Donnell, another terrible quarterback.
Can you explain it to us?
And let's face it, I'm going to give the Steelers fan trouble here. Terry Bradshaw's the most overrated quarterback in the history of football. Let's be honest about it. Come on, Bertie, admit it.
Zach is 39 years old. He wasn't even close to alive.
I'm sorry, I interrupted G's question. So go ahead. Why? Why is that the case?
So I'm impressed with as a Browns guy who grew up in Youngstown, who's supposed to hate the Steelers. I say a joke that it's one of the premier organizations of all time. 6 Super Bowls and 6 different eras. In every era, they've been one of the great teams. And then I do add the punchline, except for the 9 years I kicked their backside.
Right, that's it.
But in seriousness, they really are that continuity and consistency and foundation of toughness. And actually that 34 defense that they've always kind of stuck to, and from your defensive side, there's some things they do in the running game. And when you have, I keep pointing to my right to Zach here, a 90 TJ Apple. I'm so old, I think of Greg Lloyd at number 95. Oh, yeah. Kevin Green, who wiped me out. Harrison. They have those big.
LeVon Kirkland.
Those big, tough guy like Sam, Will, middle linebackers that are stout. And they always have like a Cam Hayward type stout in the middle. So, man, when you're foundationally that rock solid, and ironically that Mike Tomlin has kept this streak alive over the last half dozen years with a deteriorating offensive line. So their offensive line play, which has been a cornerstone of their foundation for 60 years, 6 decades, but
60 years.
Now it's unfortunately coming back that, they got the Zach Davis, the center from West Virginia. They made a couple picks on the offensive line, and now unfortunately that's getting better. So they're actually retooling what I believe they do best, core foundational, tough guy football, which is what we got to stand for.
That's depressing there, Bernie, that they're coming. Last thing, real quick, 30 seconds or less. Better athlete, Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson?
So I said I thought Deion was one of the best ever, but I got to beat, I beat both of them in games.
There you go.
They're both at such an elite level, and Bo Jackson, for him to also overcome things like his stuttering issues and things like that, and being introverted, and then to be able to come out, was one of the guys that has really kind of embraced me to be able to be more open about some of my insecurities or mistakes in the past. And Bo's been real helpful at helping others by talking about some of the stuff he's done, with that. And I know we only have a few minutes left with it, and again, not overly for a promotional thing, but this Kosar Wellness and these inhalers, 15% of it today goes to, and for this, to the Stephen Gregg, and what we're doing for him and his foundation, for him and his fight to beat this tough diagnosis he got with his leukemia. We love you, brother. You matter.
There you go. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, guys. And go Browns tonight. Well, it's a tough uphill swim, though.
Oh, yeah. Mike, go ahead.
That is Bernie Kosar. Bernie, appreciate you coming in as always. Bernie mentioned the Browns-Steelers game tonight. After the game, it doesn't matter if it goes to overtime. The game flies by in 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, you name it. G, Earl, and myself, and for everyone in the chat asking where's Earl, Earl is very much alive. He'll be on the post-game show tonight.
Free Earl.
He just likes to cut the clips from upstairs.
Thanks for clarifying.
The chat was asking where Earl was because he likes to cut cut clips upstairs now.
I know. I've said he should be down here. We like him being in the mix.
I know. He likes to optimize his time upstairs. It is what it is. It's his decision. He has not been banished. But he will be on the 2-minute warning post-game show tonight, which goes live at the 2-minute warning. We will be live through as he waves the Steelers towel on his way out. Yeah. I appreciate a good troll job.
And by the way, they keep the towel on him. I did see somebody.
Check us out, 2-minute warning show tonight.
Yeah. I saw somebody at the Panda Express, and they ran up on me, and he said, G. Bush, I don't care what nobody say. I'm always drinking the Kool-Aid. I keep my rag with me at all times. He had the Kool-Aid Mafia rag in his back pocket.
Gotta say, it's disturbing that you went to Panda Express.
Why?
It's actually a great.
I think it's the worst Chinese food ever.
Great fast food Chinese place.
It's
why would you ever eat fast food Chinese food?
They have great chicken teriyaki.
It's
you don't
fantastic.
have time for regular Chinese food.
Yeah.
Why would you eat Taco Bell breakfast? Because it's amazing.
But it's also disgusting.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
It is amazing.
It is, right?
That's the point, dude.
And what I do is I get super greens.
Bro, you jam me up for eating Little Caesars pizza, but that deep dish is fire.
That's a bridge I can't cross.
Unacceptable.
If you get you some crazy bread that's done right.
Man, come on.
By the way, those Domino's commercials that they show for those little, they look so disgusting. I don't know why anybody would eat those.
Thought you were going to get robbed walking in that place, man.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Cleveland Avenue.
Cleveland Avenue? Oh, yeah.
Shout out to them.
All right, Mike.
We got headlines we got to get to, and it's usually a Friday segment, but obviously the game's tonight, so we're doing them early. And, Bo, you're going to start us off predicting your headline for the UCSS Times on Friday. Dustin did not send one in, so we're going to make Dustin.
I never send them in.
What a slacker.
Because I don't follow you guys' a million texts. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, text him separately.
If you need something from me, Mikey, you got to text me on the side.
He freaks out. It's too much stimuli.
Do you understand that when I look at my phone, like after my game on Tuesday night, after the game, 137 messages. From who? I needed to go see my therapist for some new medication.
Fair.
My anxiety.
Maybe we should take him out of. Why don't you take yourself out of the group chat? It's too much.
Because I don't know. You guys put me in it. I feel like if I take myself out, then I'm out of the mix.
Dustin, if you'd like to be removed, we will remove you.
We would take you out.
I will text you on the side.
I don't know.
All right.
I want to be part of the group.
Wait a minute. Why don't you don't mute your notifications?
Listen, they're muted. My phone doesn't vibrate, but when I look at it, when the red dot it says.
It drives. I don't like the red.
I don't like no red dots.
Yeah, red dots drive me crazy.
That's
I got to clear it.
I have
You're first with headlines.
Guys, we're running out of time here, so let's get to headlines. Here we go. Bring it up. The Steelers are going to win tonight. I just don't. Yinzer invasion. We already had one in the studio. Steelers fans take over stadium while Pittsburgh beats up the Browns again, 20-7. It looks like 207, but there is a dash there. It's my eyes. I'm getting old. Justin Pugh is positive. Bernie's always positive. I just don't see it. The Browns are playing awfully on defense. And, their offense has been better, but they can't run, and you can't be one-dimensional. I know it's a division game, which is the only reason I have a little hope, because you never know. But I don't see how you could be one-dimensional on offense against this team. Your defense stinks right now. I don't know how you can win this game. I just don't see it.
Why is the spread not 10?
Because they're at home.
Okay, well, you said you don't see a way they can win.
Why? I don't see a likely way they can win. Is that better?
No, it's fine. Yeah. But it's the NFL. And,
I know.
And if the Browns were 5-3, or what? So 5-5. Excuse me. They're a 500 team.
I get it.
Hell, if they'd have won on Sunday, they could have been favored in the game.
No, they wouldn't have been.
I mean,
what's the Steelers?
Okay, maybe not favored, but it's a 2-point spread or it's a 1-point spread.
All right,
anyway,
who's up? G. Bush.
Tyvus is up next.
Well, Tyvus is up next.
I forgot what it says.
Jeez, Tyvus.
What is that? Velvet Browns close the steel curtains as Jameis lights up the Cleveland night sky.
That's your headline.
Dang, that's a good headline for
you.
You
like that?
I forgot, but that's your first one.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of wild.
It should have been a comma before the Velvet. The way he read it, we needed a comma.
Velvet?
Anthony asked me, he goes, what's this supposed to mean? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue what it means.
I didn't know how he was going to read it. Now when he reads it, I understand
you needed
the
comma.
Yeah.
Now, listen.
I do think that for some odd reason, I know that things have been bad, but just something about night games, Thursday night games, the Browns do come out and play. You know, and I think that defense, seeing that effort and seeing them that missed assignments, like I think they're going to be very locked in. And you know you're going up against a Pittsburgh team that's going to be also locked in. So I think that this defense is going to try to outdo Pittsburgh's defense. Right. And I think it's something about their corners. I know they got Joey Porter Jr., but I just think that he's still at a spot. He's gotten significantly better. He is probably going to 1 year be a top corner in this league one day, but I just think right now at this time, I think that they can be got in the passing game if weather allows it to happen.
G. Bush, you're up next.
Come out and play.
Let me tell you this. So I'm going to read my headline. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Browns find the most devastating ways to lose. Punt return seals a 27-14 win for the Steelers.
I thought you said you picked them up to win.
Did you pick
Not
them
so
win?
fast, my friend.
All right, Lee.
Give me my dog leash and my dog collar. I believe Jameis Winston has changed my mind on these fortunes.
Whoa.
Yes, Jameis Winston.
Making a last-second change?
Yes,
Can we allow that, Mike?
We are changing that up.
The jury allows.
The jury allows. I'm switching
What
it out.
changed in the last 24 hours? What did Jameis call you?
Jameis didn't call me. I just felt the preacher man. He was like, listen, ye of little faith, G. Bush. I said, yeah, you're right, man.
In church this morning?
Yeah, no, I had 3 Jesus pieces on yesterday, though.
Oh, okay.
So here's what we're going to do. I had 5 if you count the game.
Is the Trinity?
Yeah, there's Trinity.
The Holy Trinity?
The whole triumvirate.
Okay.
I'm going to go for 3 Jesus pieces, I'm going to go 3 touchdowns for Jameis Winston, 1 short one, 1 medium one, and actually 1 deep one.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy
Yes,
Ghost.
and
I know that.
And I got the Browns winning 24-19 in a shootout in a field goal fest. I think
you're more Christian than you are Jewish, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you are. Listen,
That's not true, but I do know the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
I am inviting Bull to church.
I went. Funny story. The first time I ever went to a church was for a wedding, a Catholic church, and I had never been to a Catholic church before, and I was in my 20s, and I saw the kneelers, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what they were. I thought they were like a footrest.
Where you pray?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, you put your foot on
But
it?
I thought you just put your foot on it. It's like a footrest. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
No.
My friend goes, no, that's the kneel on. I'm like, well, I'm not kneeling.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing.
Yeah, anyway.
I didn't grow up
Dustin,
Catholic.
you did not see the headline, but give us your headline. We'll imagine that we had a graphic for this.
No joke. Njoku carries Browns to win.
Ooh.
24.
Look at this.
18.
3 guys picking the Browns to win.
Will it be 4? And we also have a headline from Jay, by the way.
Okay.
So here's mine.
Yeah.
A one-way ticket to Cabo. Stefanski starts his summer vacation early after becoming the latest Cleveland coach to get fired after a loss to
I think he's going to get
That's pretty
fired.
bold.
That is a bold prediction.
And Jay, let's take it right to
Does
Jay.
Kevin Stefanski, by the way, strike you as a guy who would go to Cabo?
No, but everyone goes to
He
Cabo.
strikes me as a
Cabo's
guy who
awesome.
would go to, like, Missouri on vacation.
Cabo's incredible. Jay also, by the way,
Yeah.
picks the Browns to win. 17-10. Chubb's revenge. Browns
Wow.
stop the Steelers.
Can we get the all orange tonight?
No, they're not wearing the all orange.
I hate the orange pants.
Are they doing? What about the all white 1942s? Is they rocking that?
You know, honestly, we bitched about the all whites with Holmgren all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of miss them.
You really?
Kind of miss them a little bit.
Wow. I've been waiting for. Listen, if they could give me, where's the gunmetal grays at? Where's the gunmetal grays?
Browns never add new colors.
There aren't. They're going to be the Penn State.
I saw it this weekend. I was in Buffalo, and I think the Bills' colors are great. I mean, the blue, red, white, and blue. Like, who can't wear red, white, and blue?
Yeah.
And I was with some friends, and we're all from Northeast Ohio, and we're all Browns fans. I mean, I love the Bills because I played there. My son loves them. Anyway, so I was just thinking about, like, Browns gear could be so cool.
It could.
But the brown just brings it down, dude.
You can only.
It's poop.
Like
Rough
LeBron
color.
James said, like, what does it really go with? Like
Nothing.
Like, if you get a hot Browns jacket or a starter coat, it's like
You can't wear J's with
You
a
can't wear
Browns
J's.
gear. Like
No.
I went to the Bills game. I'm like, man, I got like 7 pairs of red and blues.
red and blues. There's no they got some white and oranges, but they're like no.
Yeah, they're not
They're
fire.
not fire. Like it's tough. It's tough. It's tough, boy.
I don't think it's going to change, though.
No, it's not.
Even the Bengals got the smooth white helmets. The white
Bengals uniforms are incredible, and the orange is a great color, I think.
Yeah.
But like the black and white,
the black sets it off.
It makes it pop.
Yeah. It sets it off.
We got 3 super chats, and then we'll have some fun at the end of the show. But Chris Fox says Phil Dawson is the Browns' all-time leading scorer still.
Right.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Charles T says, G, you have the most interesting closet in Northeast Ohio. Mikey looks like Mr. Dawson, like Paul Dawson, the English teacher. Look it up.
It's not a closet. It's called his house. He's got clothes everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna deflect a little bit, and I'm gonna give some credit to Tyvis.
He looks great today.
I don't know if your wife went and got you that. Or
he's got a great outfit on.
Like I like the knit with the hoodie underneath it. I like the olive green.
Now I gotta ask: is this a thing? Wearing 2 different colored shoelaces?
That's just me. Yeah. But I was supposed to switch. I did it for breast cancer month for October. This is a really solid outfit. He actually put all this together myself.
He actually has a solid outfit.
I put this all together.
And the olive Travis Scott's on too.
Travis Scott's on, man. He got the Carhartt hat. You should have had the Carhartt in the front.
Detroit. I didn't want to represent Detroit today.
This is where you're supposed to be, Tyvis. This is right in your zone.
This is wheelhouse.
I mean, I'm a sweats guy. The only reason I'm dressed like this is because I'm not going back to Columbus, so I got to go to the Brown Stadium, and this is just how I'm gonna go.
There you go.
I couldn't show up in a sweatsuit. Yeah. Like they're gonna look at me like.
Do you ever wear Browns attire? Like when you're working for the team?
No, the only time I'm gonna wear Browns attire is if they give me something. Like I want if they give me
stingy with
they give me that Army hoodie, I'll rock it every week.
Apparently they are stingy because Diamond doesn't want anything.
I used to go to the pro shop, put it on the house account.
Damn.
I got one more super
You're
chat
hilarious.
real quick. G. Bush's bad neck, not his bad knee. G. Bush's bad neck says. In the Myles versus TJ debate, we always forget that TJ has had a Hall of Fame defensive tackle in Cam Hayward.
Go Bucks!
With him his whole career. Yeah. And out of TJ's 100-plus career sacks, 90 have come with Cam Hayward in the game.
You know what's interesting is that guy is totally lost in the soup because we always remember that. In fact, every time we discuss it, we bring up the fact that he's had better teams.
We actually do strip his medals because of Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward is devastatingly godlike almost.
He gets better with age. It's just ridiculous.
You can't run the ball on him.
TJ Watt's a great player. He's just not as great as
Was he there with you?
That's funny. Is it close? Is it close? Because at one point in time, we thought TJ Watt was never going to be JJ Watt. Is that conversation dead? TJ versus JJ Watt?
TJ Watt better than JJ Watt, no? Career-wise? I don't know.
At his peak?
No, JJ's better than TJ.
How many sacks did JJ finish?
JJ's a 3-time DPOY.
Whew. So what? Judging guys based on those awards drive me crazy.
TJ, I think
is Kevin Stefanski the best coach in the NFL because he's won the most Coach of the Year awards?
Defensive Player of the Year is different, though.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
And for his career,
no, because most of these idiots
JJ has 140.
Most of these idiots just vote based on sacks and nothing else. It's absurd.
See you in overtime. Peace.